plug the internet into this? Is
Nah,
this the internet or that the internet?
nah, this would be the internet, but this probably doesn't have a socket for internet. Yeah, it does not. It will need
No, he connected it. He connected it 2 days ago. I think that's the one then.
this one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that one will connect here,
Awesome. So we just
and then we're going to connect this on the other side, wherever that is.
where? Here.
I have no idea. Not a wish with
Can you call
technology.
Tyler?
Who?
Can you call Tyler?
I have no idea what that is. Different teams.
I need the internet, man.
Are you doing this
Leslie,
one?
Leslie, call her, call her.
Hey, Richard. I'll send him in. Are you doing this one? Who's doing that one?
They'll be doing that. Water's going there. So you could just
I'll send
call
it.
Leslie. You have water bottles here?
Yeah, I'll give you one. You want to go?
Yeah, just be quick. Thanks.
Y'all needed something?
Yes. Ma'am, I need the internet over here. I want to be the So you could call Tyler?
You're not getting it on your computer?
No, I need internet.
I have to send one of the guys.
Tyler.
Tyler.
Tyler, yeah.
Minute and a half, sorry.
Hard day right now.
All the best, Nick.
Alright, bro. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
You're watching the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, presented by Sunoco.
A new era for American cricket began in 2021.
There it goes into a dive! What a catch!
The rise of cricket was celebrated across the country. Now, with big wickets and even bigger hits, the stars of minor league cricket are back and better than ever.
Primus goes huge!
Don't miss the nation's largest league competing for the biggest prize in American cricket. The Toyota Minor League Championship returns this summer, live on Willow TV.
The breathtaking action continues live from the Prairie View Cricket Complex in Houston, Texas. A true blockbuster primetime game we have for you. The St. Louis Americans up against the Seattle Thunderbolts. It's going to be a cracker. Alongside me, my good friend returns, Suhas Vedam. Suhas, great to have you alongside me. Should be a really good game of cricket by two strong teams picking up wins yesterday.
Thank you very much, Nikhil. Very good evening to everyone listening in as well. Well, absolutely. It's going to be a cracker. There are two teams who are looking good with the balance as well, and they're itchy to get going on this kind of a surface. Remember, they were waiting to get some turf to play on. Here they are.
Yeah, spot on. And you look at the table in terms of the Pacific Conference, things really heating up in that division with both of these teams coming into this. The Americans 2-1. Second in that Central Division, and for the Thunderbolts, they finished fourth in 2021, but they've also started 2-1. So, real important clash and encounter for both these teams. The Americans 4 points, And of course, in the other group, the Seattle Thunderbolts also on 4. So a cross-group battle between these two teams. Earlier, of course, we had the toss between the two captains, where we know how much can be determined by that. Harmeet Singh of the Seattle Thunderbolts and Justin Dill for the Americans. Toss won by Dill, who opted to take first knock. Pretty surprising in the end that, not really surprising, I should say, Suhas, given teams batting first on this surface and what they've been able to post.
Yeah, you've covered more games, especially when it comes to this particular surface, Nikhil, but I really feel that it's a good ploy to be batting first on this one because you don't want the pressure of chasing, especially when it is against a team which has won more games trying to post a total. So I really believe this is going to be a cracker also because of this.
But when it comes to analysis and perspective, it has to be Nate Hayes from the MLC Network. But before we get to that, we'll have the action very soon with the Seattle Thunderbolts in the field up against this Americans team. Nate Hayes, we're ready for you. Let's see what he has to say about this encounter, Suhas.
Seattle versus St. Louis is a very exciting matchup to me. St. Louis is a dark horse, and it's still early, but nobody will scoff at second position in the Central Table. Good for them, good for the league, and good for fans of minor league cricket. I know you're going to have a great time with this game. Seattle took serious strides in the offseason, filling some big roles around their triumvirate of stars in Harmeet, Shadley, and Andres. These moves are paying off now, and that showed in Saturday's close win in a Super Overs against Lone Star Athletics. They look like real contenders in the West, and that's saying a lot. Both teams have energized fan bases in communities on the rise. I can't wait to see what happens in these communities, and I can't wait to see what happens in this game. I think it's a taste of things to come.
A taste for things to come. This is a delicious encounter between these two teams. The Americans winning the toss, making a couple changes to the team, but a lot will rely, especially for the batting lineup, on Dwayne Smith and Luke Schofield, who would have also both fired for this team yesterday in that win against the San Diego Surf Riders by some 43 runs. In terms of the Seattle Thunderbolts, a team you know very well, Suhas.
Yeah, as far as Seattle Thunderbolts are concerned, they are sporting Rahul Singh, Harmeet Singh, the skipper, Jagrup Rana, the left-handed opener, Fani Simadri will come in very handy with his cutters towards the end. Rohan Posanapalli has made the cut too today. Shadley Van has got to do a lot today in terms of change in pace. Andres Gous would be up at the top, trying to attack as much as possible. Akhilesh Bodagam will find place as well. It looks like a very, very competitive side, and I can promise you it's going to be a cracker, Nikhil.
Well, spot on. Shadley Van Schalkwyk, tough day at the office yesterday. A game that went to a super over against the Lone Star Athletics. Of course, the Thunderbolts winning that one in pretty tight encounter. Luke Schofield and Dwayne Smith, as I just mentioned, taking first knock for this Americans team. They will have confidence as well with 2 wins under their belt. It was a tough season for them in 2021. Finished 6th in that Western Division, so already off to a much better start. Have some big absences, which we'll get into, but Van Schalkwyk will be looking to take early wickets, and he'll relish the opportunity to bowl on this surface. One with this green grass. I don't think they'll mind batting first. The Americans is why they won the toss and elected to do so, because as the sun bakes on this surface, it will dry out. 23 wickets across his minor league career. Van Schalkwyk was the leading wicket taker for this team last season.
Interestingly, he was itchy to come to this surface and bowl in Houston. Tried his best in the previous game as well. That was at Musa, however. This one at PVCC. Something he's been dreaming about for a while. He's been searching for swing all throughout the tournament. Off late only got pace. First ball.
I have to re-ball that one, Van Schalkwyk. 3 overs, Suhas, for 61 runs for Shadley Van Schalkwyk. He picked up a wicket yesterday, but you mentioned that Musa Stadium. Very contrasting to the Prairie View Cricket Complex. It's really a batter's paradise there. And you see so many big totals scored at the Musa Stadium. But you have to work and earn your runs at this venue. Dwayne Smith on strike, the man from Barbados, the former international player. You would have seen a lot of Smith being in India. Obviously, he's from Barbados, but he's played so many matches at the IPL level, over 100 for the Chennai Super Kings, the Mumbai Indians, 335 T20s at the professional level.
325 T20s at the professional level, you said, and of course you brought in the IPL as well. These are two teams that are up there as far as IPL is concerned. It doesn't get bigger than Mumbai Indians and Chennai Super Kings. with the pizzazz they bring every time they play the IPL, and he's seen it all.
Smith off the mark straight away, and it will be runs through cover. Could be a boundary, it will be a boundary. So first runs off the bat for the St. Louis Americans. There's a reason they want first knock on this surface. It's a quick outfield, gets runs.
Yeah, that's typical Smith. The swift hands come into play. Doesn't believe much in footwork. He loves fireworks, and he started off in such good fashion. The first one was to taste what the pitch has to offer. The second delivery goes through with a ball. Goes through with a lovely shot indeed. And this kind of an outfield is just a batsman's better fin.
Goes again, this time the man at deep mid-wicket can only watch it. He's a bystander to the power of Dwayne Smith. 4 and then a maximum.
A magnificent hit indeed. Once again, just picks the length so early. However short that was, Smith was waiting for it, it seemed.
Got to go a long way to retrieve that delivery. Let me tell you something about this innings, Suhas. It's a very important one for Dwayne Smith. You look at his previous 3 scores coming into it. 6, 8, and then 25 yesterday. Speaking to him, and obviously being from Barbados, I know him well. The synthetic surfaces that he would have played on to start the tournament has been a challenge. So now we'll relish this opportunity to bat on turf where he's used to, and a good surface to bat on as well.
And he's also batting in one of his favorite positions at turf. He's always been an opener who doesn't let any bowler get settled.
Angling down the leg side for sure, but better delivery from Van Skalvik on a better length, a good length. Smith can't get his hands through the ball. So big knock for Dwayne Smith. He's got Luke Schofield at the other end. 75 yesterday from just 50 balls. The two were able to put on a 70-run partnership to open up the innings, and they'll be looking to do much more of the same. The power play overs with just 2 allowed outside the circle, always important.
The margin of error just shrinks, doesn't it, Nikhil?
On the back foot, Van Skalvik is confident, and the finger goes up. Van Skalvik fights back in this first over, and they get the first strike. Dwayne Smith can't believe it, but he's got to go.
Big moment in the game. Just when Dwayne Smith was starting to open up, he's missed a pretty straight ball in the end. A man who was starting to unfurl his shots. Lovely one through the offside and then through the leg side with a stamp of authority, but then a straight delivery gets the better of a classy batter like Dwayne Smith. All ones on the board, 11 for 1 as Smith trudges back to the pavilion.
Just 10 for Dwayne Smith. And he would really be disappointed because he's been able to middle the first 2 deliveries which he struck for boundaries. 1 boundary and a maximum, of course, so that would be a big setback for him. He's gone for 10, scoring out 11 for 1. In comes Nikhil Kanchan to the middle. New player for this St. Louis Americans team. He was very important in their planning for this season. I watched him a lot, actually, for the Michigan Cricket Stars. He came to Prairie View and did very well at this very venue. Was the leading run scorer for the Stars last season, 380 runs, an average of 40. Just put such a big prize on his wicket. A joy to watch Nikhil Kanchan. And another Nikhil, Suhas. He can't keep us out the game, I'm telling you.
Yeah, you can't keep Nikhil out of the game for sure. You're absolutely spot on with that one. In the com box, he's doing a tremendous job, but now with the bat in hand, Nikhil Kanchan. Oh, what a classy batter. You watch him bat, it reminds me so much of Anand Bains back in India. Nikhil Kanchan, 87 versus Somerset Cavaliers in Florida in 2019. Who can forget that?
Off the outside edge, he's off the mark straight away, Kanchan. But a very eventful over comes to an end. If that's what's to come, we're in for a real thriller of a game. 12 for 1 after 1. An early strike for Seattle Thunderbolts. This decision to win the toss and bat first. Your assessment on the decision by the captain Justin Dill for the Americans.
What we've seen so far, as far as the pitch is concerned, there is some movement after pitching, and perhaps keeping that in mind, I think Thunderbolts wouldn't mind both. As far as the decision to bat first is concerned, it's not been vindified yet because of an early wicket, but it's too early to say if it's been a poor one or no.
Your fellow countryman will come into the attack. Harmeet Singh, very skillful operator, the captain, the skipper for the Seattle Thunderbolts team. So likes to bowl 1 or 2 overs at a time in the power play especially. Such an underrated passage of play, the first 6 overs. Just to play the circle. He's got long on place and a deep mid-wicket. Pretty standard field. For the spin.
Not too much.
Amit Singh's decided to take matters into his own hands in the power play once again. Usually, you see Harmeet get into action in the power play, especially in this edition of Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sunoco, is when he feels it is a very, very important game for his side.
Quick single. Stolen there by Kanchan, and be happy to continue to take over the strike. It's been a real lean phase for Nikhil Kanchan in this tournament. Just 43 runs in the 3 innings. He got a start of 37. It's his highest score in the tournament. But you look at the average of 42 last season, be looking for much bigger things in this minor league. It's early days, of course. This tournament presented by our official sponsor, Dafa News. Long way to go in this one. That early wicket will do the confidence of this Seattle Thunderbolts team a lot of good, especially the fact that Suhas coming in with a lot of confidence after winning in that super over.
Oh yes, the fact that it got to a super over, there were a lot of butterflies in the stomach at that time for them. The fact that it's man on the screen, Harmeet Singh, who did a tremendous job with a bat in hand and ball in hand too in that super over, it would have given them a lot of confidence.
Good start by Singh. This is full, and Nikhil Kanchan opens up to extra cover. And don't bowl that full to this man, because he has a knack for run scoring, especially at this venue. A classy player, Kanchan.
Not oblivious to what the scorecard has to read. If it's in his slot, he'll go for it. Inside out, a lovely shot indeed. It's one of those shots which tells that the world's a better place. It's a batter in form. Nikhil Kanchan moves on to 8.
Not sure if you picked it, but that last delivery was a leg break. Harmeet Singh trying to spin the ball away from the left hand, the right hander, sorry. So little change up from Singh. End of 2, 20 for 1.
My son, he's so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom.
Born for your trousseau, the 2022 Tundra. Toyota, let's go places.
What's up, Doug? What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
So back at Prairie View, fantastic facilities. You can see the heat in its full form now at this fantastic Prairie View Cricket Complex in Houston, Texas. Van Schalkwyk bowling his second. Yeah, he's a skillful bowler, Shadi Van Schalkwyk. Comes into this with a big reputation. Obviously playing second season playing for the Thunderbolts. Last season he did it all, both with the ball and bat, 20 wickets. But it was the average 12.55. It tells you why he's so dangerous as a wicket taker, but also Suhas an economy rate of less than 5.
An economy of less than 5 by operating in the death too. He's such an asset to any skipper. He can bowl any time of the game.
Right there, that's the line and length. And Luke Schofield, a man that's in real good touch. Mentioned his good performance yesterday. How much would it do to the confidence of the Americans? The fact that at this very facility, not the same field. Yesterday against the Surf Riders, they were able to post 175 in their first game. It was 178, correction. The Americans batting first.
Will do a world of confidence, especially knowing that the batting is clicking.
Coming through for the single, you were saying?
Yeah, knowing that the batting is clicking and they've gone on with the same batting order as well, they have a lot of confidence. And I'll tell you what, the surface that they played on yesterday and the surface they're playing on today, there is a huge difference. Having said that, they'll draw confidence from the previous game and try to permeate that into this performance of theirs. That they need the engine room to click. Dwayne Smith is back in the pavilion. In Kanchan and Schofield get together and put on a lovely partnership.
But after a very expensive bowling spell, you talk about that average just under 13. Don't see many fast bowlers able to pick up wickets at so little runs, but also the economy rate. That performance yesterday where he was taken apart at a very good batting track at Musa Stadium. Very uncharacteristic. 61 runs conceded in 3 overs, an economy rate of over 20 per over for Van Schalkwyk. So you want to come back and come back strong. He's a very important player for this team.
Yeah, yesterday wrong length as well, Nikhil. Someone who learns very quickly had an off day.
Good slower delivery, good change of pace.
He's got an array of slower deliveries as well. Shadley. Nikhil would love to know this. When was the last time you saw a bowler who's known for his slower deliveries too, but different kinds of slower deliveries in his kitty? It's almost as if you need to know which one to bowl when.
Oh, good delivery, almost taking the outside edge from Shadley Van Schalkwyk. You think about this over, just 1 run from it, excellent. Good change of pace again. Rolling his fingers over it, getting some away movement as well, like you mentioned before. So ends a good over, end of 3, 21 for 1. An early wicket. And a good comeback so far from the Americans. These two in the middle, very important. They get this partnership developed. Akhilesh Budugam will come into the attack. Spin. So replacing spin. So Harmeet Singh out of the attack. Just 1 over for him.
A different tactics used today by Harmeet Singh and Seattle Thunderbolts. 2 spinners in the power play. Akhilesh Budugam, one of them.
I can tell you about Budugam playing for the Atlanta Fire last season. Picked up wickets at a good click for that team. Making a long journey though to the West Coast, the Pacific Conference. Andres Gous behind the stumps, getting some treatment to that left eye. A lot of dust and breeze. We had bees earlier blowing across the ground. So quick through the air, Budugam. 15 wickets for the Fire in inaugural season of this minor league.
An additional height as well, which will generate that additional bounce. He's very tall, and he's not a regular off spinner. He doesn't have that doorknob turn for a release. He's someone, if you talk to him, say, I just push the ball forward, and it's something that he's working on. So one that moves the other way.
What now?
A lot rests on the shoulders of that man, Luke Schofield. He was so important in the batting display of his team yesterday in a very important win against the Surf Riders team who we just saw has the capabilities to beat big sides in this tournament. Nail-biting win we had early on today at this very field. Field number 6 here at the Prairie View Cricket Complex. Operating on a good line of length, have to hurry, get there pretty comfortably in the end. Good initiative, good impetus being shown.
Now Akhilesh Budugam keeping it tight. Understands that doesn't have much cushion in the deep, and that'll be the case for the first 6 overs. Just 2 men patrolling the boundary rope.
very good at that length, Bodogum. And as you said, because of his height, the extra bit of bounce he can get, it brings a slip in play as well. Batter's looking to cut.
I had a chance of viewing one of the training sessions of. Well, that's a good collect by Andres Gous. Wasn't very far away from the bat there, and that's in the previous over with Shadley in operation. I had a chance of looking. We'll get back to it.
Get one after a misview from Bodogum.
Yeah, I had a chance of looking at it for a few minutes of what the Thunderbolts were up to in their practice session, and Akhilesh Bodogum was bowling with Andres inside the nets as well. Perhaps to tell him a few counter signs.
Look at the paddle, innovation from Luke Schofield, and it'll be another boundary. This man is a meticulous player at the crease, especially in the first 6. So good at maneuvering the gaps. And it ends a good over for the Americans because they pick up that 4. 6 comes from it. End of 4, 27 for 1.
So sometimes 3-4 balls might get beat. That's fine because we know if we stay, we can stay. Good all, okay, good all.
So great game in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sunoco. Of course, wouldn't be possible without our corporate partners. DAFA News, who's going to be the next team to feature on the front of the cover of DAFA News? Many of these teams will be searching for a good performance. Both these teams looking for their 3rd win in this tournament, and what a start it would be for them. Three overs of Shadley Van Schalkwyk. This is very surprising, given he's been one of the trusted options over the last 2 seasons at the death. So Will bowl is 3 out of 4 overs in the power play.
The fact that Shadley is bowling 3 out of his 4 in the power play also means that Funny somewhere is going to get warmed up for the death overs predominantly. Good ball.
Just wonder though how the landscape of T20 cricket is changing, where so often we see such an emphasis. In the olden days, you see many of the captains saving their last and better bowlers for the last 5 overs. Now we've seen the model change to Haas, where the first 6 overs with just 2 allowed outside the circle, if you start well, so often or not, you win the game. You go on, you put yourself in a position to win the game.
It's been a cautious start, I'll tell you that much, after a wicket's fallen.
Sure to cover this time. Kanchan wanted the run, definitely not on.
All good, all good, all good. No worries, no worries.
What do you think should be Schofield's approach here, Nikhil? Should he continue to bat the normal way that he does? Play his natural game? Kanchan, full stretch, but had made it. Even if it would have been a direct hit, no problemo.
Big swing across the line, but it's going to go through everyone, the batter and the keeper. So it goes for a boundary. May have just taken the inside edge, so doesn't matter how they come. Luke Schofield, the man that's hitting the ball well, and things going his way. How often do we see this when batter's in a purple patch?
That is exactly why I asked you if he should continue to bat the normal way. Bat his natural way. Back his strength. This one was pure luck indeed. Any other day, Shadley would be seeing, Shadley would be telling himself, any other day, the timber would have been heard. Schofield running on luck, but now.
A good length. You asked me about Luke Schofield, and my answer to that is, why would you change your approach? He's averaging 36 with the bat, 109 runs coming into this. Obviously a big 75 yesterday, his highest score in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. No need to change anything. Yes, you've lost the wicket early. But this man was a consistent performer for the Americans last season with Jacobus Pinar, who they've lost. So he's had to pick up the slack in a big way. This is good batting and good bowling between these two. Good partnership. I wonder, Suhas, how much will Luke Schofield be thinking about seeing off Van Schalkwyk, even though, yes, he was expensive yesterday and far from his rhythm and his normal self. So important and such a wicket taker for this team.
Shadley being given the third over. That is because Harmeet trusts him to pick up a wicket over here. And if Schofield's reading that, he's quite content to pick up a single. Additionally, he doesn't want to take any risk because he already got a boundary in this over in a streaky manner. He's quite content being at the non-strikers end now.
A very stylish player, good aggression being shown from Shadley Van Schalkwyk. And a much better 3 overs ball by him to start. 33 for 1 after 5.
1, 2, 3.
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need one hand on the roof, one hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go Rewards.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go Rewards, when you fuel, you save, because rewards come first.
When you say no, we just say that it doesn't really matter what he says.
Bodogan will continue the off spinner. Very eager to know how this St. Louis Americans and your perspective on things. Suhas, this batting lineup is a new one for the Americans. They've lost some important pieces. One being Jacobus Piñar, 444 runs last season in 14 matches. He's made his move to the Morrisville Raptors this season. How do you fill a void of such a big player in your batting lineup?
By picking a few who can put their hand up in the right situation. I haven't watched Pinar bat much, but I can tell you this much, that if you're asking me that those are big boots to fill.
Over a sweep, and straight away the finger goes up. He didn't connect with it, Luke Schofield. And a very fast delivery from Bodogam doesn't give him time to connect. Another big comeback, another big wicket in this power play.
Persisting with Bodogam, giving him another over, and that pays off. Wanting to be cheeky off the second delivery. Caught in front. Bodogam pleads and the finger rises. Second wicket gone as Schofield departs. 12 for him. Gets a start, but doesn't convert.
And the Schofield, 33 for 2.
Good stuff, boys. I thought you hit me.
Basupali comes to the middle with an important job on hand, joining Nikhil Kanchan, who's been there for 13 deliveries. But it was a real important breakthrough for Akhilesh Bodogam. Mentioned 15 wickets last season for the Fire. Basupali, really important that he just stays in, digs in. They do have a lot of batting to come. The captain, Justin Dill, who already has a half century in this tournament. Very first game for the Americans. They still want to get out the power play very safely. Ensure that they continue to build a platform, build a foundation. And anytime you have that leg stump exposed, will always be in trouble. Came across his stumps, looking to play it into the reverse sweep. And you can see two, almost the middle and leg stump, always going to be in trouble.
I think the shot selection was to induce a field change eventually. He wasn't looking for the gap at that time, but he was wanting to get on the nerve of the bowler by playing that shot a couple of times so that a field change awarded.
This time goes over cover, and it will be another boundary. So Basupali not wasting any time, a dominant way to get off the mark. Just checked his shot midway, Basupali, but he knew with 4 men in the circle in the offside. Once he got it over that cover fielder, was going to be a boundary. You have to continue to attack. Run rate just above 6.3. So end of the power play, a good one, you have to say, for the Thunderbolts. 37 for 2.
And end the power play. So power play finish? Yeah, power play finish. And we power play done.
Well, that's how it unfolded in the first 6. Going through it in a flash. The Thunderbolts bowling a lot of spin. 3 overs of spin out of the 6. Rohan Posanapalli will come into the attack.
It's important for Rohan Posanapalli to get some rhythm. He's had a mixed bag of a tournament in 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sunoco. Rohan Posanapalli generates a lot of pace. He's got to find the right length, otherwise it becomes easier for the batters to just open the face of the bat and guide it for 4. We saw Mark Dayal in the opening game develop a liking to Rohan Posanapalli. Today should be a different story. That's what the youngster would be telling himself. He's worked a lot on after that, on himself, mentally, and of course the skill set too in the practice sessions.
On a good length and just scampering through for a quick single. Many will know the name Rohan Posanapalli. Had a viral moment in 2021 where a clip of him at the Under-19 Nationals was the trials, where Dale Steen actually acknowledged him on Twitter and really had a lot to say about the youngster. So he comes in with huge potential ahead of him, a big future. The tall fast bowler, been in that USA Under-19 setup for a while. Definitely very impressive. He has the pace, just want to see him get that control a bit more, and I think this season he could really use to develop that.
Yeah, just adding to your point, and Nikhil, it's the mental makeup as well. That's something that he's working on, and he'll only get better as he plays games of this kind.
Posanapalli is busy, he wants to, but gonna come back as well. Running to the danger end. Good running by Basupali, knowing that he can get back there. Murali Basupali.
A slightly late call, but still made it. It was Kanchan's initiative, the second run. Murali Basupali responds nicely.
A lot of importance on Nikhil Kanchan in this innings. You look at, mention that 2021 form for the Michigan Cricket Stars. He was the leading run scorer, 380 runs, but also at this very venue. Got a half century, which saw the Stars be victorious against the Hurricanes. Slow start to the season. It happens in the first 3 games, just 49 runs. But he did get a start, of course. 37 in the second game for the Americans. Will want to build on that. Good delivery back into the right-hander. Just be a single, but something happening off the surface, some bit of sideways movement.
Yeah, it's a great indication that it's got something for the pacers as well as spinners. And I think we're in for a treat now. You could see the keeper suggesting immediately to the captain there's something that's happening. A little lateral movement that the batter has to tackle. On that occasion, well negotiated by Murali.
Wanted to run. Nikhil Kanchan almost stranded in the middle of the pitch. Very fortunate that the direct hit wasn't inflicted, but a good over so far, just 4 from it.
A fantastic stuff from the skipper himself. Harmeet Singh quickly onto the ball. And then the dispatch as well came as quickly as he got to the ball. A tidy over for the youngster, Rohan Posanapalli. Can he close it out, making it a tidy over only?
On the track, but there is protection in the deep, in that onside. Kanchan closed out a good over though, with just a single, 5 from it, 42 for 2.
Great stuff, Rod. Really good.
Dwayne Smith went early for 10. Luke Schofield joined him in the pavilion for 12. Nikhil Kanchan and Murali Basalapalli, both of them, we've got to get together and string a good partnership. Ahmed Bhatt, Siddhant Shah, Arnav Cham, Justin Dill. There's a lot of batting to come, including Ayan Khan, who can strike a few as a lefty.
This Americans team looking to build a partnership. They're going out a run a ball at the moment, 42 for 2, and it's going to be another change in bowling for this Seattle Thunderbolts. They liked to go through their options. Shali Van Skalvik.
Harry, you want any more fighter?
Samadri, who you mentioned, will come in and play a part in the death. Brought in pretty early in this 8th over.
Yeah, he's rolling his arm over for the 8th. And I still get a feeling that he will play a part in the death because Shadley's bowled out 3 of his 4. Nisi Madri was excellent yesterday as well. No matter the surface, he's someone who sticks to his strengths. Slightly round armish, and he's got a lovely slower delivery. Nikhil Kanchan's got to be wary of that angle with which the ball comes towards him.
I love the move by Gous. They run to the next single. He's going to be run out. I think he's gone, but no, the umpire has said no. Andreas Gous can't believe it. He was so quick to whip off the bails. Van Skalvik, everyone shocked in this Seattle camp.
You're running right in the middle of the pitch, and that's not good. You're blocking me, that's
He's really struggling to make his ground. Basupali, who's looked to be short from here, Suhas, but obviously the umpire's got a good view at square leg.
Oh, he's got the best seat in the house to be judging this one.
Yeah.
Did put in the dive, did everything right. Gous was very positive. Shadley could not believe it, but it's the umpire who's got the best seat in the house to be calling it out or no. And the finger stayed down.
Touch and go. This angle will tell you all you need to know. Maybe just short, but the problem is for us, we have the luxury of seeing this. The umpires don't. There's no third man, there's no television replay. So very hard to make those close calls, and I must give it credit to the umpires. I think even the front foot no balls that they've made have been pretty accurate, so good to see high quality of umpiring in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship so far. Full toss, gets away with it really. Just be a single. Of course, this tournament presented by Sunoco wouldn't be possible without them. They're fueling this tournament, unintended, and of course the Toyota vehicles, they've been fantastic. 2nd year running to have Toyota on board as the title sponsors. Aerial, but won't fall into any hands. He's in the gap, but does slow up. Didn't quite time it, Nikhil Kanchan, but he has those shots. He's showing us glimpses, and as we've seen from Sacklin Hyder earlier today, Suhas, you can start slowly, but once you spend time and build a platform, you can get value for your runs and shots as well.
If Nikhil can borrow a leaf out of Saklain's book, and it's something that he usually does, you know, off the field. We'll get back to it.
This time hit much better through extra cover, and it's going to be a boundary. He timed that so well this time. Nikhil Kanchan now goes to a run ball 19. Good batting from the St. Louis Americans.
A good shot. The first one was a check. This one was full-hearted. A lovely drive. He loves to go through extra cover as well. One of his favorite regions, Nikhil Kanchan. I was going to tell you that the 2 men that he loves to talk cricket to, discuss techniques. One is Saklain Hyder, Another is Ramiz Raza Jr.
Direct hit, and it's going to mean that they scampered for a quick single. This is good running, good cricket. Overall, they're coming back, wanting to come back for 2 as well. Nikhil Kanchan, but smartly declines. Very busy player at the crease. Good batting display so far. Scalvey wanted the run out. He got there pretty close in the end, pretty safely back home, and then able to come through for the single.
Nine runs of the over. 1 ball to go. Simhadri, for his standards, slightly expensive. Given the fact that he's not bowling in the first power play, he's more pushing in the deep.
Good delivery to end the over. Ends with a dot. 9 from it, 51 for 2.
1, 2, 3.
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need 1 hand on the roof, 1 hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go Rewards.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go Rewards, when you fuel, you save, because rewards come first.
We're back. This game well poised. The Thunderbolts taking 2 early strikes in the power play overs. But since the Americans stringing together this important partnership, Rohan Pasanapali will come back into the attack for his second over. First one was a good one, just 5 runs. 18 runs between the two in this partnership.
Run a ball 20 for Nikhil Kanchan, while Basupalli is also amongst runs, 8 of 9. It's been quick to get off to those 8 runs. 8 overs, 51 for 2. Nikhil, it seems to be a lovely start after having lost an early wicket. They've kept the positivity on.
Fired in full. The umpire just signaling and going down the leg side. Andreas Gous again was so confident. It was a good Yorker length attempted by Rohan Pasanapali. He has the pace. A couple of decisions have gone against them. See just dejection on the faces.
Yes, can't do much about it. What a lovely delivery. Well, that was close. Very, very close. He's hit him with the back leg as well. Rohan Pasanapalli screams, requests, appeals. It was in no way a polite inquiry. Andres Gous joined in as well because he thought it was a lovely shout indeed.
I think it was the front leg, Suhas, but you can see there, front leg and the leg stump exposed. So always tells you what you need to know. Anytime you can see that leg stump, but gets away with it. Nikhil Kanchan will look to scamper through for 2. They will get it pretty easily in the end. Good running by these pairing.
Yeah, correction, front leg. And was sitting deep inside the crease as well. I think he's going to change that tactic a little against Rohan.
I want to outline this in terms of, you look at the 4 games now for the Americans. The power play has been something interesting. They've been hot and cold. First game, 31 for 4. Then they recovered. They were 54 and 45 for just 1. The St. Louis Americans.
Yeah, this dugout's pretty relaxed at the moment, even though there have been a couple of wickets that have fallen, because Basupalli and Kanchan, and those two have gotten off to good starts.
This one squeezed down, but there is a 3rd man in place. Don't think he'll get 2 there. Basupalli's coming back. He's not even looking at where the fielder is. As soon as he touched, he wanted 2. This is good pressure and attack being taken to Pasanapali.
Not only are they concentrating on boundaries, Basupalli and Kanchan, both of them are concentrating on good running between the wickets too. It was a late call for the second. Basupalli, he doesn't look at his partner. He starts to run. Soon Kanchan realizes, all right, the second is on.
Bangs it in and does well to stop that. And one going straight down the ground. I was mentioning the Americans though. I think the power play is something that they want to focus on. They've been hot and cold, started losing 4 wickets in their very first game, a game they lost. Then today as well, losing 2 important wickets. Both the openers going 37 for 2 after 6, so it's sort of put them behind the 8 ball. And this partnership is doing well to recover them to a respectable position. Still a controllable run rate though at 6.46 for the Thunderbolts. They won't be too upset about that. Love this length. Love this length from Rohan Posanapali. Very full on-off stump, challenging these 2 batters in the middle. This is a really good spell by the youngster.
He's learning quickly. He's learning a lot of things, in fact. A wonderful appeal, a terrific delivery, then one which is guided, which all the while he thought will only be a single, suddenly turns to 2 runs. He's got a ball to the same batter.
Just be a single. Have to hurry as well. Kanchan, he's quick and gets there in the end, but a fitting end to a very good over and a very good spell by Rohan Posanapali. 7 runs from it, 58 for 2. Of course, this 2022 Toyota MILC presented by Sunoco. Did you have a read of DAFA News last night to see all the latest action in this minor league?
That reminds me, Nikhil, I'm going to do that right after this stint.
Come on, Suhas, you have to be every night. You need to check the DAFA News.
You know my schedule.
So all about the Super Over, the Seattle Thunderbolts, highlighting Super Saturday in this minor league tournament. And looking to pick up their 3rd win of the tournament. Harmeet Singh is going to come back into the attack. 4 very crucial overs for Singh.
His approach will be slightly different in this one, though. You can see him flight the ball a little more. Now that the first power play has ended, we're almost into the halfway mark of the innings. 58 for 2. St. Louis Americans, they've done really well to recover from those couple of jolts early on. Kanchan's 21 of 22. Whereas Basupalli has been good with his running between his wickets for a runner ball 13.
Flash, really good piece of fielding.
No, boys!
At extra cover, they're going to come to for an overthrow, though. They're just shooting themselves in the foot, you can say. The Thunderbolts, they're doing well to keep the pressure on. But small overthrows, small moments here and there are giving and releasing some of that pressure that they're doing so well to build.
I feel the throw was on. It's just that in his follow-through, Harmeet wasn't in the best position to collect it. And this is when the throw was on. A little late to react as well there. Harmeet could have gotten into a better position to collect the throw and could have been a different story.
You're very harsh, Suhas. It was a wide throw. Harmeet Singh is your countryman. You have to support him.
The first rule of being on comms is being neutral, and I know you know that better than anybody else.
What these two are doing, well, though, backing up a long way. So even Basupalli was in that risk of being run out just now in the previous delivery. You're happy to take that risk. With intent. This one down to long on, but doesn't carry to Van Schalkwyk. Luckily for Basupalli, doesn't time it as well as he would have liked. Otherwise, it would have been down in the throat. He doesn't drop many at long on. Took a superb catch last weekend as well, Shadley Van Schalkwyk.
Yeah, his favorite positions are long on and long off. Shadley. Harmeet Singh wants a change in field here. He's bolstering the boundary rope on the leg side by posting Rahul Singh at deep mid-wicket, and he's got a long on straight.
You won't mind these singles too much. Don't mind the singles and the dots too much, these Seattle Thunderbolts. 2 deliveries left to the halfway stage, controlling the game well. Again, punch to that extra cover fielder. But again, a good quick single. Only 3 runs from the over. Pressure building, you sense, on this partnership.
It's been a very good over so far. Interspersed with dot deliveries, 3 singles, the boundary ball still evading. It's deep inside the crease as well, so it would have been a difficult single to have taken. And inside out, that's gone straight up in the air, taken. The wicket has come by. Pressure was being applied with just 3 runs in the over. Invites a big stroke, and it's a good catch by DK, as they call him, Rana.
Harmeet Singh strikes. Something that Harmeet Singh wants to do a lot more in this tournament is take wickets. That's an important strike for the Thunderbolts, who have kept a firm grip of this game, even when things have seemed to slip away in terms of good running between the wickets, good intensity. And Harmeet Singh producing a wicket-taking delivery, well held on in the end. So that will bring us to the halfway stage of the innings. Basupali, sorry, goes for 14, 61 for 3. Ayan Khan, the order for him today. We've seen a very flexible batting lineup for this St. Louis Americans team. Justin Dill has come at number 5, the very first game against the Tigers. In a losing cause, he got to 66. He's sort of kept himself back, maybe for that closer to the last 5 to 7 overs when a platform has been established. They've got to get a move on, though, with the run scoring. Just 6 runs and over after the first 10.
Ayan Khan plays international cricket for Oman. And I think the situation is suited for his style of batting as well. He likes to take a bit of time before he gets going. More than that, he gives you the left-handed option too. 4 matches, 31 runs. And the 6 wickets, 5 of them came in the same game.
I think when I go the other side, though, in terms of that perspective, maybe would like to see Justin Dill, because he's a more aggressive player. You already have Nikhil Kanchan, who's 23 for 25, but importantly still there. So you want to pair a more aggressive player like a Dill, who's shown that with time at the crease he can score. 66 in the very first game, a half century for the captain. So he may have wanted to see Justin Dill. Nonetheless, though, he's opted to send the international Khan. Hosanapali continuing for his 3rd.
Ayan Khan standing outside the crease for Hosanapalli.
Good full delivery, and have to rebowl that one. Rohan Hosanapali.
And this is why Ayan Khan's in the middle. Wanted to go inside out. And Daminda Ranavira comfortably underneath this one. A good pouch.
Again, this time Ayan Khan off the mark. Very first delivery through to cover. And I'll tell you why he'll be even more disappointed after being there for 16 deliveries. Basupali, hitting into the smaller side, would have backed himself to take on Harmeet Singh. Hitting with the spin. So will be really disappointed. A man with immense power that he wasn't able to clear that cover fielder. Just didn't time it well, didn't execute well.
I still get a feeling he would have been better served had he gone straight down the ground. Going inside, you need more bat percentages. Did you always have a chance of getting out when you're trying to open the face of the bat in that fashion? He was also trying to move sideways, which meant he wasn't in the best of balance either.
Very impressed with this spell from the youngster Hosanapali. Really impressive so far. Continues to rotate the strike. They're going to come up as well. Good run by Ayan Khan. Taking the charge, added impetus. So Rohan Posanapali, easy in these conditions. Suhas, the ball through on the trot. He'll be very pleased, as well as his captain, Harmeet Singh, with what he's been able to put out so far.
Absolutely, the conditions are such that it will sap you. It's a test of fitness, it's a test of mental fortitude. He's also borrowing a leaf out of Shadley's book here, Rohan.
Playing across the line, but he came a long way down. Always tough to get the leg before shout. When you come so far down the track, trying to mitigate that length and come down, get very close, Nikhil Kanchan. What's been key is that reliance to play the ball across the line, sort of on that 6 to 7 meter length. Backed himself to hit into the onside.
He's got to pull his length back a little, Rohan Posanapalli, also because the batter is standing outside the crease. Kanchan's looking for gaps here. You could sense that.
Just misses his run up. But yeah, I think you don't want to be too short, because yes, he has height, but at the same time, Nikhil Kanchan, a strong onside player with just one fielder out in the leg side. Of course, plus the long on. You bowl short, you give a lot of real estate to Nikhil Kanchan to pull. A very strong hook of the ball. Fine margin of error for Rohan Posanapalli, who's bowled extremely well so far. Goes quick with this one, but it's going to be runs to go through the fine leg fielder as well. Coming back for two. Kanchan hasn't really found the boundary, but the important thing is getting the runs. Good running by Ayan Khan as well, just to urge him on. He's been there for a while, and this heat and conditions won't be easy. Clear skies. Sun out in its full form. Suhas, very hot day, 95% humidity at the Prairie View Cricket Complex today.
Yeah, humidity-wise, definitely hot. Ayan Khan, for him, it'll feel like a few degrees cooler. He's coming from Oman. He's played a lot of cricket in hot weather. And of course, hails from Madhya Pradesh. Gets a lot of sun there too.
Well, there it is. That's the wicket. The one that Posanapalli has worked hard for, and he deserves. And Ayan Khan, short stay comes to an end. Just one run for him. Looking to cut. Posanapalli with the angle, getting the outside edge, and a good catch from Andreas Gous. He doesn't drop many behind the stumps.
Andreas Gous has been terrific throughout. Ayan Khan wanting to cut it away, gets that outside edge, and a good pouch by Andreas Gous. Leaning down, and a polite appeal this time. Ayan departs for a single run. It's a failure that he would want to forget very soon with a bat in hand. 1 of 2.
68 for 4. Wickets falling at the wrong time for this St. Louis Americans team. And Justin Dill, the captain, walks in. Man, that has been given a more of an all-round role in this American team. It comes from the New Jersey Stallions, where he had a good first season. The former South African comes with a lot of experience as well. He's the captain. There's a reason for that. 21 wickets last season, but also the runs this year as well. 66 versus the Chicago Tigers. Has a lot of responsibility, but has one delivery from Posanapalli to mitigate.
Yeah, baller coming right time over the wicket, 1 ball to go.
Good spell from this young man. Was with the East Bay Blazers in the last season, so a big change for him. To a new setup, new team, but he's worked really well so far. First real sign of rhythm. Was very impressive in the under-19 national trials, USA Cricket, of course. Asking the question, but that one came a long way across, but he also came down the track, and always going to be tough. So Justin Dill unable to get off the mark, but he will get a run for his team. But a good over where Posanapalli gets the wicket he deserves. End of 11, 69 for 4. We mentioned how stacked Suhas this Pacific Conference table is. One team that you've been mightily impressed with.
But it looks like it's going to be Dallas. But what I've been looking so far, what are the matches that I have covered, I would go with Houston Hurricanes even though they lost today. There's a big learning curve.
That is 2 leg, yeah. One.
Out of all these teams, you selected the Hurricanes. In second last in Group A, the Western Division.
Absolutely, because I look at the potential that they have and where they can get to. That is exactly why I'm saying Houston Hurricanes. Well, look at the points table. It's a Dallas Mustangs. It's very easier to get to, isn't it?
What about Group B? No love for the defending champions, the Silicon Valley Strikers.
To do a game with them for sure. East Bay Blazers, a couple of them. Again, huge potential. They've changed the captains a little bit. That shows instability to some extent. I'd really want that to go away.
Harmeet Singh. Left arm spin of Harmeet Singh.
Come at it.
There's a reason that Harmeet Singh is bowling from this end, especially to knowing that
Come guys, 74-6 here,
hand is
boys.
at the crease. Wants the ball to spin away.
So only 4 back.
It has to be very precise. He's got protection at that mid-wicket region, as well as cover the square boundaries. But very straight, very hard to score. Get any arms to the ball at that length. Good bowling from the skipper for the Seattle Thunderbolts team. And he'll want to have a much improved season. Just 10 wickets in 11 matches for the Seattle Thunderbolts last season, Suhas, but also his economy rate was excellent, under 5. But I know Harmeet Singh. I also know how much he enjoys taking wickets. I think he'd probably be a victim of the fact that teams have looked to just see him out because of how effective he is.
I think that's also changing this year. He understands that the teams are not treating every game as a 16-over game by seeing him out for 4 overs. They are trying to attack at least a couple of overs every time he's bowling the full quota of 4. That is why he brings himself on. At times when the players are coming after him, the batters are coming after him, he's bowling in the power play. You saw this time.
Nice, Aksar, nice, Aksar.
There's one delivery remaining after this.
Lovely, Harry, bye.
Easy single. Just wonder when Nikhil Kanchan will look to flick into that next gear. Had the best coming into this of 37. Hasn't really found his stroke in terms of the runs in this tournament, so you can't fault him, especially with wickets going down around him, for trying to stabilize the innings. But as we get down to the business end, the last 5 overs where they need to attack,
Back.
Americans have a good bowling lineup, but you've seen a very high-scoring ground this at the Prairie View Cricket Complex. Need at least 150, you would think.
Good boys. Good Rahul.
Into the over. 73 for 4.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले।
हाँ, तेरे घर लाने का। My son, he's so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom. Born for your true self. The 2022 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
Exciting day of cricket. This primetime action between the St. Louis Americans. Of course, this tournament, the global reach by Toyota, a global brand themselves. They're running a loud appeal, begging the umpire, Posanapalli. There's a couple times now Nikhil Kanchan has been let off the hook. Continuously looking to play across the line into the smaller side. But he's not connecting. It's been a struggle for Nikhil Kanchan.
On this occasion, once again pitching it up well. Slightly above the roll, but straight. Finger that matters, it stays down. Rohan Posanapalli has got to regroup and bowl again. It's been a big learning curve for this young man who's been terrific with the ball in hand so far.
Again coming down the track and again looking to play into the onside. This strategy, you can understand why. Looking to play into the onside, but it hasn't worked for Nikhil Kanchan. And the previous delivery, that could have gone either way. The leg before from Rohan Posanapalli. hit above the knee row, Suhas, so always going to be tough, but could be umpire's call if you had a look at Hawkeye.
An umpire's call it was.
Just squeezing it past point. Much better option from Kanchan. Those balls on a good length. Come back for 2 easily. So there are other ways to score off deliveries of that length, but give Rohan Posanapalli immense credit. 4th over on the trot. He's just conceded 17 runs. The young man is taking a big effort this.
Just a fitness, he's right up there. And it's not like that he's reducing in pace as he's pulling the 4th one on the trot. It's only revving up. This engine's nice and warm. Rohan Posanapalli is generating opportunities.
Again, another quick single. Nikhil Kanchan, he does this so well. And even though, yes, by his standards, it's been a struggle, the fact that somebody's put their hand up from the top order, we've seen the importance in this tournament of somebody ensuring that they bat through the innings and set a foundation for the likes of Dill and others who can score and play freely.
It's an interesting approach from Nikhil Kanchan, 30 of 34 for a man who's usually getting off flying starts.
Still a lot to come in terms of the batting. Think about Dugal, 38 from 14 deliveries yesterday in that win against the San Diego Surfriders. Finished the innings off so well and helped propel them to 178. So that will be in the back of the mind of Nikhil Kanchan and Justin Dill, knowing that they have some power still to come. You want to get to that 15th over. Maybe if you can get to 90, 100 even. The last 5 you can set up, try to score 50 off the last 5. They're pretty standard, 10 runs and over. And you get to 150, which earlier today the Surfriders showed can be defended.
Excellent stuff from Rohan Posanapalli. It's been terrific throughout the over.
And it's his 4, just 19 runs and a wicket for the young man. Commendable spell, 77 for 4.
13 done. 13 over done.
13 overs gone, 77 for 4. Dwayne Smith went for 10. Luke Schofield walked back for 12. They were in trouble, St. Louis Americans. That's when Nikhil Kanchan and Murali Basupalli got together to string a partnership. Nikhil Kanchan's out there with 30. Justin Dill's just walked out 3 of 7 after Ayaan Khan's early exit. 77 for 4. And there's a bit of batting to come. Ahmed Butt, Siddharth Shah, Arnav Cham, Dhruv Duggal, of course.
I think you'll be fine, man.
So it will be Bodogam after 2 early overs. Came into the attack in the last over of the power play, as well as the 4th. So 2 crucial overs, just conceding 10. And it's because of that quick arm speed, very flat trajectory. Has 2 crucial overs coming up now for his team inside the last 7.
Jamie!
Akhilesh Bodogam has been decent in his first 2 overs.
Bro.
Slightly change in field. It's gonna
just down to cover. Yeah, pretty standard off spinner field with the 2 fielders on the square boundaries. The cover mid wicket and the long on, long off. Doesn't bowl that many full deliveries. He's going to make another change now to Kanchan, who likes to play in the onside, so he's going to have an extra man there and look to force him to hit across the line into the bigger side. If he wants to take on that leg side, Bodogam is saying no problem. This time though, he tricks him. Reverse psychology outside the off stump and takes the catch. A really good diving catch taken at the boundary by Adam Crosswith. And Bodogam has his 2nd.
Akhilesh Bodogam relishing this opportunity to bowl on turf. This is a perfect off-spinner's wicket. Floating it up, inviting him outside his reach. In the end, Nikhil Kanchan skies one straight up in the air. And what a wonderful catch from Adam Crosswait. For a moment, it looked like he wouldn't get there, but he'd eventually done his part. Nikhil couldn't get going today, 30 of 34. There was a time he had to change gears. Didn't happen today.
good start to his campaign. 30, so 1 wicket taken already in this over. This is where the Seattle Thunderbolts like to come into the game. They like to take wickets through the middle periods.
You got to say, Nikhil, good captaincy to bring back Portugal. Believe that he can provide the breakthrough. Now Thunderbolts walked out, who's in tremendous touch. 227 runs in 14 matches. And for a man who comes in slightly late, doesn't get to face many balls on a regular basis, but he's played his part whenever the opportunity has come by. 38 of 14, you mentioned, fresh off a fantastic innings. He loves to rotate the strike too, and needs a bit of polishing, we thought. And
well, not only was it good captaincy for the wicket for Akhilesh Portugal, also good bowling. Right before this delivery, he sent back an extra feed on the leg side. He made him think that he was going to bowl short and ask him to pull. Instead, slow delivery. He wants it, he likes it. Maybe just high to Dougal. But Bodogam, much slower in flight, outside the off stump, prizing the wicket. Excellent bowling from the experienced off spinner, making the switch from the Atlanta Fire all the way across the country to the Pacific Conference. What a delivery, very quick, very fast, can't cut that. Dhruv Dougal, so close to the off stump, could have easily hit it.
It's turning out to be a fantastic over. 4 dot balls together.
He won't stick around. This is going to be runs. Dhruv Dougal's made his intention clear. Comes back for an easy 2. Wait for the signal, but I think there may have been no wides given. So rare, loose delivery. Looking to attack the body, looking to be very quick and very tough for Andres Gous. Take the catch. Also blinded Andres Gous, and at that pace, never easy with the ball doing a bit off the surface, getting that bit of extra grip and bounce. The tall Bodogam.
It was turning out to be a terrific over indeed, with a wicket in just a single, then 3 wides granted. He's not really happy, but he's got to put it behind as he concentrates to bowl the final delivery. He has done the right thing by pulling out of it, Nikhil. Don't want anything else to be playing in your mind while you're trying to concentrate for that delivery.
Again, much slower this time, just teasing the batters. What an over it was. Just 4 runs from it, and as well picking up the crucial wicket of the set man. 81 for 5.
Bowling with the wind with 100 km. How did the ball stop there? What are you guys doing?
Yeah, the engine room. Nikhil Kanchan was the only one to fire. 30 of 35, slightly slower. He had to change gears. There came a phase, but couldn't get going after that. Murali Basupalli stuck around for a while, but then he left for 14. And Khan had a very short stay. Justin Dillon, Dhruv Dougal find themselves in the middle, where they had to provide a launch pad for this innings of St. Louis Americans. Fani Simadri has been given a change of ends.
Yeah, added role for Samadri in this tournament. I looked at his, watched him very closely in the 2021 season. He took 9 total wickets last year. This year already, he's gotten 6 in the first 3 games for the Seattle Thunderbolts, and I like the added responsibility given to him by Harmeet Singh. It's good trusting of some of your role players. They like to call him a local boy. They've trusted him, and he's come through for them. Very important in that win yesterday against the Athletics. Captain Harmeet Singh always enjoys his time in the middle. 2 wickets for Samadri in that super over clash. 1 of 2 yesterday. Of course, the Philadelphians and the Somerset Cavaliers also going to super over in Morrisville. So good to see in both sides of the country in all this action. He did have 2 super overs. Can't ask for much more in this T20 cricket. That's a good shot. That is a good shot. Looking to play across the line. Can tell you, these have to work for those leg before calls.
It's a direct hit as well. A good cricket all around. The batter wasn't absorbed in the appeal. He was quite content to take a single. Now, where exactly it pitched would have been a question. Justin Dill was trying to show the bat as well to the umpire.
Thank you.
Now Fani Madri, he's keeping things tight. So far, so good for him. A single of the first two. Gets to bowl to Dougal for the first time.
The ground will just be single, so biding the time well. Justin Dill, you think about his hard-hitting nature, but so far so good as he builds the platform. Here was the leg before shout again, bowling over the wicket. The left arm seamer, definitely a cutter. So
Pitch outside leg there, clearly.
Yes!
And this is going to be the end of Dill. Harmeet Singh, the captain, takes the catch, and really is the icing on the cake of what's been a bowling performance that deserved a lot of credit. It's very fitting that the captain's taken the catch because the 6th wicket going down, and that's what pressure does. Samadri mentioned changed the bowler this season. His 10th wicket of the year already. 7th, and of course for Samadri. So Harmeet Singh running in on that long on boundary takes the catch pretty simply.
Yeah, it's a good catch. He never took his eyes off the ball. And that's the end of his counterpart, Justin Dill. 5 of 11. And not good enough when the equation was getting tight. He has to be there, 81 for 5. Someone's good.
Wickets falling in the last 3 overs. One apiece for this St. Louis Americans team. They need a partnership desperately as they close this innings off. Ahmed Pat comes to the middle. Slow series for him last season, looking to build on it in this fine league.
Yeah, Ahmed Bhatt has played a lot of cricket on these grounds. A native of Houston. You would expect him to adjust better to turf than anybody else.
No, New Delhi is after October. From October.
Yeah, really falling apart though. You mentioned 61 for 3 after the first 10 overs. When you're looking then to up the ante in the next 10, they have struggled. They've lost 3 wickets for just 22 runs.
And the manner in which they've lost them, I felt a couple of them were half-hearted strokes. What did you feel?
Scalped for the quick single. They will get it in the end. Always looking for that too. Something that the Americans have done well. I wouldn't say necessarily half-hearted. I just think, one, it's been good bowling. We have to give credit to the Thunderbolts. The way Harmeet Singh has shuffled his options, Budogam coming back into the attack was crucial. Also, to keep Rohan Posanapali into the attack and bowl him out was another important stage in the game.
Well, absolutely. Full credit to Harmeet Singh for the changes. And the bowling changes. This was in the air for a jiffy. Now very quickly onto it as well. This is good commitment. Yes, you've got to induce that false shot as well. Of course, the bowling has been fantastic. Due credit to them.
End of a successful over for Samadri. Back in the wickets. 2nd day in a row. 84 for 6.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस, इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, तेरे घर लाने का।
1, 2, 3.
Budogam will bowl his final over. Picked up the crucial wicket of Nikhil Kanchan. In the last one, this minor league was presented so many glorious opportunities for teams. Suhas, what would it mean to one of these teams to go to 3 wins in this tournament? Remember, both these teams on 2-1. 2 wins, 1 loss.
And to go to 3 wins slightly earlier in the tournament, they'd want to take one game at a time, but a win is a win, of course. It'll give them a big morale boost whenever you travel more, much like Seattle do. Seattle Thunderbolts, it's important that you win on the road, and an early win like this will give them a lot of confidence indeed.
Love this length. He's gone there pretty often. Not that short, but what it is very close to the off stump. So batters will be thinking about cutting into the smaller side, but it's so close, you will be dismissed. Again, mixing up the paces very well. It's always a sign of an off-spinner who's bowling well. The changes in pace, changes in trajectory. Of course, Sunoco fueling this minor league tournament. Wouldn't be possible without them as a corporate partner. Again, Suhas on that good length. How do you combat that if you're the batting team?
It's slightly difficult also because you're manacled by what the scorecard reads.
Here again, another good delivery from Akhilesh Bodogam. It's why he was brought in from the fire. He's so good at this, creating pressure. Actually helping his other bowlers, bowling partnership, keeps it so tight from one end. But he's actually in the wickets as well this season and in this game.
Absolutely, you mentioned the season.
Big swing.
It's just a single of the over. What a terrific over this has turned out to be from Akhilesh Bodogam. Finishes his 4 overs, 15 for 2, then 85 for 6. Seattle STL, that is.
Yeah, deserves a lot of credit, Akhilesh Bodogam. 2 for 15 from his 4 overs. And you think about if they can finish those remaining 4 overs off well, keep them to under 6 runs and over, he will be a big reason why the Seattle Thunderbolts could be chasing a small total and could be on their way to their 3rd win in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. Samadri back into the attack. You mentioned he would play a part at the death.
But now the wickets have fallen at regular intervals. Harmeet wants to go for the kill.
Well, to be consistent on that off stump. Van Skalvik, he's still got 1 remaining. The captain, the vice captain, the captain Harmeet Singh. Wonder if he will come back into the attack. Pretty expected that Samadri, your most important death bowlers, tend to bowl the 17th and 19th. Getting the ball to just go away from the right-hander. He does have these various cutters.
He's a different kind of a bowler altogether once Andres Gous comes to the stumps, because now the batter has to negotiate the swing on offer. He cannot negate it by walking down the track, Nikhil.
Another swing and a miss. They've been so consistent though, clearly a plan. Look at managing the dimensions of the field, something that we saw very much often in the first game. They're forcing by pushing the ball across the right-hander, but who's yet to get off the mark. 7 deliveries. Forcing him to hit into the offside, though straying this time in line. Don't think he'll get to the boundary. Posanapali's quick, saves 2 runs for his team.
Very good run. Ball to go.
Like this line from
Aki,
Samadri, but
funny.
even with those left boys still yet to get off the mark. Not necessarily what you need at this stage. You need someone to probably come in and kick into 2nd and 3rd gear. Team is scoring less than 6 runs and over. That will help their cause.
Pani Samadri completely straying down the wrong line there.
Let's go, let's go.
If you can keep it outside off, even if you can bowl a length ball at this stage with those cutters. Just like this one, in business. Will this be taken? Fielder, captain himself, takes the catch.
Doesn't drop many, Harmeet Singh. But well, what a painstaking innings it was from him. 9 deliveries without scoring. He's got to go. How crucial could those 9 deliveries be in the grand scheme of this innings? Harmeet Singh, he doesn't drop many. Always involved in his team's performance, and you'll be very happy with this. The Americans in real trouble.
Had to get underneath this one. It went a long, long way. Harmeet Singh decided it's going to be him, nobody else. He's shouting mine. And it wasn't the most comfortable of catches because from the corner of his eye, he could see a partner running towards him. But in the end, does complete the catch, but departs without troubling the scorers. And as Nikhil rightly mentioned, 9 deliveries without scoring. It can come back to bite you later on when the thing gets down to the wire. A day to forget for Ahmed Bhatt.
So the Thunderbolts really been on top of things. Remember, they lost the toss and were asked to bowl first, so truly it's fantastic the way they've bowled right from the very onset in that power play. They put the pressure on, 37 for 2, kept things tight, but also took 2 important wickets of the openers, Luke Schofield and Dwayne Smith, who put on 70 yesterday for the Americans. Nowhere close today. Smith gone for 5, Schofield 12. They just never seem to pick up the momentum since, so credit to this Seattle Thunderbolts. Samadri again in the wickets. I love the role that he has. Jam comes to the middle. This time over extra cover. There is a fielder though at long off, just be a single. Wants 2, good running. You're gonna think those Suhas at this stage, as the last delivery, need boundaries. 91 for 7.
Awesome, mate. Well bowled. Really, really good.
Now it's been a day to forget with the bat in hand for St. Louis Americans, albeit they can find a way to get to at least 120 from here on. It's 50 runs away in about 18 deliveries left. Dhruv Duggal's going to be the one to get them there. It's been a collapse after a good start from Nikhil.
Leg stump, please, umpire.
Nikhil Kanchan top scoring with 30.
Covering leg.
It's all been all about the bowling performance from the Thunderbolts. They've been excellent,
Batsman, left arm round.
showing that they continue to pick up wickets, led of course by Akhilesh Badogam. So Harmeet Singh, the captain, will bowl his final over. Look at what they've have left. Van Skalvik, the strike bowler, has still got 1. Much improved performance for him. For the captain, bread and butter stuff. 5 runs and over, as well as a wicket to go with it. And that's been part of a Rajasthan Royals setup, brings so much. When you think of one player to compare it to Toyota Tundra, has to be Harmeet Singh. Can't wait for the viewers at home to see Andreas Gous go after this target though. One of the most dangerous players in this tournament. Good delivery, spinning away. Wow, look at that. Big purchase.
All right, give all your work a lick and a promise. Watch the legend bowl.
Easy stuff, another single, but that's not too concerning at this stage for the Seattle Thunderbolts. What about this angle, Suhas, of Harmeet Singh bowling around the wicket to the right-hander?
So it's working so far. And it's also because he wants the batter to target the longer part of the boundary. If he wants runs, so far so good. Just a single. The first half of the over already done and dusted with.
I'll tell you why I think he is bowling around. Wants to angle the ball in to the right-hander, but because of the natural spin he gets as a left-arm spinner, the ball will spin away. So he's adding a degree of difficulty. No clue in this inning so far. Duggal, 11 deliveries. Run-out chance, should be a run-out, but he slips. Big let-off for Dhruv Duggal. Almost was an end to his innings.
Andreas Gous is not happy with that little slip. Rohan, usually a good fielder, yesterday picked up a fantastic catch off the last ball. This was pretty straightforward. Once he missed it, he didn't realize that he's taking a little bit more time to deliver that ball to Andreas Gous. And Gous was furious.
this game of cricket. 38 from 14 for Dougal yesterday, 6 from 12 to start. Contrast at its very best. This one over cover, but there is a man in the deep. Crossway does the work. So end of the over, and Harmeet Singh completes a very tidy spell. Just 17 runs from him. He's led his bowlers well. 93 for 7. So it likely will be Samadri. Mentioned he wanted your most important bowlers. How often do we see it? Most important death bowlers bowl the 17th and 19th over. So Samadri really deserves immense credit the way he's come back in this 2022 season. Across it, and I have to re-bowl that one, but I love what he's done throughout this innings, consistently with the angle, going across the right-hander, forcing him to hit into that bigger offside region. It's been well strategized, this approach from the Seattle Thunderbolts.
He's got to keep the line in mind. The intention was there.
Good boy.
Now the execution as well is there.
I thought you were throwing.
Funny Samadri. What a match winner, 17. 2 wickets today. Once again, the cutter. Even though you know it's going to be the cutter, you don't know which one.
This off again. And just a single. That won't hurt this team too much. Been brilliant. Samadri. Quite surprised as well that he's only bowled.
Yeah, that's leg, Sam. Yeah. Leg. Thank you.
He's caught up 4 overs just twice in this tournament, especially given how well he's bowled. He's been really reliable for the Thunderbolts, but definitely giving his captain something to work with going forward in this league. There it is, a wicket. This young man has been brilliant. Fani Samadri with his cutters, with his variation, and he picks up his 3rd. He's been all in the wickets for the Thunderbolts, and a reason they picked up 2 wins in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship.
Harmeet Singh was going for the kill. Sense that with the way he was rotating the ball as Samadri once again brilliant with his cutters. Too early into the shot, enough to disturb Timber. Charm departs. 85 for 8 as he makes his walk for 1.
Wickets tumbling for the Seattle Thunderbolts. That's been the story pretty much throughout this innings. Big wicket for Samadri. Boy, has he bowled well. Bajpai comes into middle, newly into the lineup today. Bajpai. Off the mark straight away. What about Dhruv Dougal though? 38 from 14, we keep mentioning yesterday. Today though, he's really struggled. What's gone wrong?
Now it's a situation as well. He's batting according to the situation. He understands that his team is in danger of being bundled out. He has to ensure that St. Louis Americans, they play the 20 overs as well. Dhruv Dougal, every time he's tried to go for the big shot, he's realized he's lost one of his partners at the other end. Sudhanshu Bajpai as well, no mark with a bat, mind you, but both of them, they've got to target the right balls to send across.
Straight down the ground. Another thing, I'm not so convinced, Suhas, because you look at the score, 97 runs. Don't know how much benefit in just poking around, especially against the Seattle Thunderbolts team, who showed that they're lethal with about 125 in 15 overs. They got to for 1 wicket. Andreas Gous has been brilliant. Ranawera as well, his opening partner. So they're going to need a lot more than this. Very hard to see them defending this total.
Do they need a lot more than this? Absolutely yes. But you have to give that trade-off, isn't it? Nikhil, you're trying for a big shot here and lose a wicket, and you realize you're bundled out before the allotted 20. Again, it's one of those decisions that you take.
Picked up, but again, bowled so well to his field. Samadri, and another 3 wickets to add to his total. 9 now, matching his 2021 tally. Excellent from this man with his cutters and variations. 1 over remains, 98 for 8.
Dwayne Smith was the first to go for 10. Luke Schofield-Schoon joined him for 12. Nikhil Kanchan was the only man who got a start. Thereafter was a huge disappointment with St. Louis Americans. Dhruv Duggal's out there with 9 of 16 with Sudhanshu Bajpai. 98 for 8, St. Louis Americans. Seattle Thunderbolts, 5 bowlers used so far.
5 minutes rolling.
And all of them amongst wickets as well. Akhilesh Bodhagam picked up 2. Shadley, Harmeet and Rohan, 1 apiece. Fani Simadri, pick of the bowlers for his 4 overs, gave away 21 and picked up 3 important wickets.
I think one key stat stands out to me, and that's 2.75, the economy rate of Akhilesh Bodhagam. And yes, Samadri's taken more wickets, but I've got to give the edge to that crucial spell in the middle. He bowled 2 overs in front in the power play, the 4th and 6th over. I think he's been the main reason why they've been able to keep the pressure on through the middle. Van Skalvik comes back into the attack for his final over. Much improved bowling performance from him, from his 61 runs in 3 overs yesterday. Starts with slower delivery. Should just be a single good. Start to the over, brings Duggal back on strike. So what does Duggal do here? Suhas still plays it safe?
Not at all. Last over, come on Nikhil, you know it better. Yeah, now that they've got 2 wickets in hand, shall try and maximize this. 100 is just a psychological total. Would that be enough on this track? I don't think so. You've seen the previous game as well. You said 150.
Yorker, excellent execution at death overs by Shali Van Skalvik, and a great field as well of his own bowling. Save, and another single. The 100 comes up with just 4 deliveries remaining in this innings.
Shadley to realize he's got to change direction and field it by himself. Gets into a good position.
More runs. But again, not a boundary. They've done so to control the boundary striking in this innings. They'll come out for 2, but that won't hurt these Thunderbolts too badly. And you think the likes of Rawera, but more importantly, Andreas Gous, who got 75 yesterday, will be chomping at the bit to get that bat in hand, the willow in hand, because on this surface with a very quick outfield, he's going to be looking to cash in. Andreas Gous, he's already made a statement in this tournament. Across his stump, but again, good bowling just to save it to 2 runs.
And that might be the 3rd as well, which is on. Make it 4 if they run 4. Or is it all trickling away? It was a good throw actually. It's Shadley wanted to come in as surprise. It became too surprising in the end for him.
I think 2 was always on there though. You have to manage the situation well. Just 4 deliveries remaining. Well home in the end, both these batters. So Van Skalvik didn't need to throw that. Hits the stump and the keeper has no chance. So maybe some more management from your more experienced Shadley Van Skalvik.
What now? 2 balls to go.
What a revelation he's been for this Thunderbolts team over the last 2 seasons. Getting some treatment teams, Bajpai, but just on Van Skalvik. 90 T20s at the professional level, 90 wickets for Van Skalvik. Average of 25, he's a genuine wicket taker. We saw it last season, but a slow start this year with just 3 wickets. Now 4 after the 1 he's picked up. He's got to look to grow in momentum. He's such an important piece to this Seattle Thunderbolts team.
Absolutely. He's at one point was a fulcrum of Seattle Thunderbolts bowling. Shadley, we've seen his Yorkers, we've seen his cutters as well. Very interested to see his slower delivery. He was working on one that comes from back of the hand as well. We haven't seen it yet at this level. These are in this season of Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. Brought to you by Sunoco. 8 runs so far.
Another good just single from these Americans, but the Thunderbolts will be very happy with the way they've gone about things in this first innings. It's an important game. Every game in this minor league championship is so important. These teams and these games coming thick and fast. The Thunderbolts, if they can go to 3 wins, really take charge of that Central Division. It's a tough group, Western Division. On the other side of things, the Americans even worse. The Strikers and the Grizzlies come through for another single, but you don't mind that. To close the innings, just one. So 108 will be all that they can muster, and it's been because of a superb bowling performance from the Seattle Thunderbolts, led by the captain Harmeet Singh. Samadji was great with 3. Budogam excellent with 2. But it's been pressure and good all-round performance by the 5 bowlers used. Just 108. The Americans will be disappointed.
And looks like below par score as of now 108. You got to give credit to Harmeet, the way he used the resources that he has, the way he rotated the bowlers, terrific to watch indeed. Harmeet, you could sense that he is a happy captain so far. 109 doesn't seem to be a daunting total on a track which hasn't shown much to trouble the batters. Yes, there's some turn when tossed up, neutralize the threat of Ayaan Khan here. Seattle Thunderbolts.
Well, this is how the Americans started. It was a good start from Dwayne Smith in the very first over. They got 12 from it, but wickets continued to fall throughout the innings. Smith and Schofield, the 2 important pieces, went early. Nikhil Kanchan with a pretty determined 30, batting at number 3. Good return to runs for him, but no one else really able to build a partnership. Basupali got a start, as well as Dougal, but only in the end managing to muster 108. They will be disappointed. 78 yesterday.
Yeah, with the bowlers, they were terrific to watch indeed. From Seattle Thunderbolts, Shadley picked up a wicket. Harmeet Singh picked up a wicket. Akhilesh Bodagam, as you said, Nikhil, pick up your bowlers. 2 wickets for 3.75 that economy. Rohan Posanapalli also amongst wicket, and Fani Simadri, 3 of them, and 3 important wickets for just 5.25, an unreal economy.
Well, let's see how things unfolded in terms of in that first innings. You think about the word dominance. That's what it was for the Thunderbolts after losing the toss, being asked to bowl first. A couple of big shots early on through cover, hitting into the smaller side. The Thunderbolts came back really well. That was Luke Schofield with a bit of innovation. But they would get the wicket after doing a bit of damage inside edge. It was going his way. He's a man in form, Luke Schofield. But that was the wicket. Looking to be a bit too fancy, and Akhilesh Bodogam with a fast trajectory, able to crash into the pads. This one was well checked through cover. These 2 put on a really good partnership. Nikhil Kanchan, the running between the wickets was good as well. That was a close call. Nikhil Kanchan, second 30 score for him in this tournament. He did struggle. This was a crucial wicket of Basupali. Caught cover, and captain Harmeet Singh able to pick up the strike. Just since then, they never were able to recover. Ayaan Khan came, went after just 2 deliveries. Posanapalli was excellent with 4 overs on the trot. This man, Fani Samadri, deserves immense credit. A really good couple of catches taken by Harmeet Singh. That was the first of Samadri's 3 wickets. Then came another one running in off the long on boundary. Samadri was excellent with his cutters. That was the 3rd and probably best of them all. Cutting away from the outside edge, hitting the off stump. So a well put together, well constructed bowling effort from the Seattle Thunderbolts, restricting them to 108 for 8 in the 20 overs. It means then that the Seattle Thunderbolts, to go to their 3rd win of the season, will just need a mere 109 for victory. With their stacked batting lineup, they should back themselves to win that game. Don't go anywhere. In a couple of minutes' time, we'll be back with the run chase.
The Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, presented by Sunoco.
Jagan Nemani, or which one is first?
No, both of them are same guy. Jagan Nemani. His name Nemani Jagan. Jagan Nemani.
So, what's his first name?
Jagan.
Okay, yeah, he said it's Jagan, I think.
I talked to him.
Yeah, confirm, Pete, confirm.
Yeah, please tell me. Correct. Jagan Nemani. What time will you come back?
You told me 6 over.
Huh?
You told me the 6.
No, right now. What time
Oh.
will you start?
4:50.
4:50. Ready.
That was okay, Pete? First thing. Yeah, I'm ready. No, but there are players in the middle, Seattle. I mean, Americans.
What is it that's so quiet?
See, they replaced me. Say that again, Kev. Yes. Massive help, massive help, massive help. Please clip it.
No, it's
It's much better, it's much better. Protect this. This sun is messing up this thing.
You're watching the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, presented by Sunoco.
Well, we're back with the action, and it's going to be 109 runs. You expect that the Seattle Thunderbolts, given the batting exploits during this tournament, they should be very happy about chasing this small total in the scheme of things, subpar. And it was because of really good Thunderbolts bowling. Don't be frightened if you see the players walking off, just waiting to get some refreshments right before they get ready. You can see there are some of the Thunderbolts batters getting ready. Runawera, Andres Gous, rearing and ready to go. In terms of how things unfolded in the first innings, well, it was really highlighted by some destructive bowling from the Thunderbolts. Just never able to get a partnership together. One between Nikhil Kanchan and Basupali, but nothing else substantial between the batters for this team. That partnership was only worth 28. And the biggest of the innings, always going to struggle when you only post 108. In terms of the bowlers, well, I was very impressed with Akhilesh Badogam. 2 for 15. He didn't take as many wickets as Samaji, but it was that crucial 2 overs in the power play, and then finishing off at the death. He was brilliant, and everyone in the wickets, including the captain, Harmeet Singh. Excellent, well put together display, and the highest economy, 7.25 from Van Scave. It tells you why they've only have to chase 109. So when we return, we'll have the run chase from the Thunderbolts.
My son is so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom. Born for your true self. The 2022 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
So the umpires out in the middle and ready for the resumption of what would be a crucial game for a crucial win as well for the Thunderbolts. A very subpar performance. They went 7 wins, 7 losses in 2021, the Thunderbolts, and finished 4th. Really underachieved when you think about Gous, Van Skalvik, and Hartmeet Singh. This year, much improved. I think they've also got an improved lineup as well. So excited to see how they can continue, and you expect them to do very well, especially what it would do for their confidence if they can get to 3-1 with a win today. Andres Gous comes to the middle. Very dangerous player. Suhas Vedam, hello to you.
Hello, Nikhil. Hello, everybody listening in. Yeah, Andres Gous is a very dangerous player indeed. And it says Sehwag. Now, Andres Gous, of course, will be at the other end. This is Crosthwaite, the younger Crosthwaite. Yeah, this is the younger Crosthwaite, James Crosthwaite, who will open the batting.
I love the name on the back of the shirt.
Yeah.
Hope if he can tell you, if he has plays 2 or 3 overs like Virender Sehwag, we'll be out of here very soon. Suhas Vedam, a man that you will know very well, seen destruction over the years at all levels of international cricket. An international icon, Virender Sehwag.
Oh yes, happened to study the same university as well as he did. It'll be up against Ayan Khan, who's all set to take the new ball today. Some spin first up. Even in the last game when St. Louis realized that the opponents have got 50-odd in just 4 overs, the ball was thrown to Ayan Khan. Justin Dill realized he's done the right thing by doing so. Ayan Khan ended up with a 5. So he's been the man for crisis as far as St. Louis Americans are concerned.
Well, if you are Justin Dill, the Americans captain, you have to be optimistic. You have to try everything you can to try and defend this total. Yes, there's only 108 runs on the board, but he has attacking wicket-taking options. Himself will come into play with a very strong wrist position. I want to see how he fares on a green top. Sideways movement. Readily available. So Ayan Khan will bowl to Crosthwaite. First delivery, here we go. Around the wicket and straight away runs. Off the mark. Thunderbolts won't get to the boundary, just will slow up. Coming back for 3, Andres Gous, and very quick between the wickets. What a player he is, though, Andres Gous. 399 runs in 2021. A strike rate of close to 135, an average of close to 40. And this season already, a statement piece yesterday against the Athletics. 76 not out from 49 deliveries. Gous has been so dangerous at the top of the order for this Thunderbolts team. That's Crosthwaite, non-strikers in.
Leg stump, please. Slightly leg. Yeah, that leg stump.
And Khan just waiting to get underway to Gous. You mentioned that 5-wicket haul he was able to get earlier this season. They need him to get 5, or probably even more than that. 5 for 17 against the Chicago Tigers, the very first game of this tournament for the Thunderbolts. The Americans, correction, a game which they lost. Gous, so this could be trouble. Very fortunate that he was sent back early. I don't know where he was going. No risk needed. Only need to squat 5.39 runs per over.
Yeah, I don't think those cheeky singles are required to chase this target down. And Khan would be expecting to string together as many deliveries as possible and hence provide a wicket as well eventually.
The leg side will have to reball that one. I don't think people understand the magnitude of a player that Andres Gous is. He came to the US, Andres Gous, 60 first-class matches, averaged over 40, but also 42 T20s at the professional level for the Knights back in South Africa. Was part of the South African under-19 setup for a number of years. Think about a lot of those players that have come in to the USA setup. He's one to watch. I can tell you that, Suhas. I've watched a lot of him throughout the years, these last 2 years. Not only in the minor league, but other local cricket. He's been dangerous, lethal, and aggressive at the top.
with just two fielders lurking around, he has the license to go for it as well. Now that he gets to play here at a lovely outfield too, you might see him just chip over the infield. Something he just could not afford in other grounds that he's played so far in this very competition. He had to go all in. He's got 3 men inside the circle. On the off, Ayan for the righty.
Crosswith able to just open the face, write it down to third man. Another easy 2 runs. Good, easy stuff at the moment for the Thunderbolts. End of the first over. Well on top of things, well ahead of their asking rate. 7 for none.
James Crosswith and Andres Gous. James 5 of 2. Andres has just opened his account. Rahul Singh, Harmeet Singh in tremendous touch. A group Raina is coming in at 5 as far as this is concerned. Otherwise usually opens. Fani Simadri, Rohan Posanapalli, Shadley Van. All of them can bat. Akhilesh Bodugam, Daminda Ranavira is another fantastic cricketer from Sri Lanka. Adam Crosswith, of course. It's a little funny to be finding his name at number 11. He definitely isn't one. Justin Dill, the skipper, has decided to roll his arm over. Pace from one end.
Not only decided to roll his arm over, he has to bowl, in my opinion. I think he's got to look to take wickets. I watched him in the Houston Challenge on this very venue, this same field in March. With grass on the surface, he was a handful for opposition batters against the USA international team. Almost has the ball on the string, especially we've seen the likes of Isan Adil do very well for the Grizzlies on these green surfaces. Yesterday was excellent. I can expect more of the same from Dill, who's made the switch over from the New Jersey Stallions last season. 21 wickets for him at 20. Boy, oh boy, was he excellent to watch. Different challenge bowling to his countryman Gous.
I'll tell you what, both of them had practiced a bit with one of those franchises in the US. Justin Dill made the trip to India recently to play in a league, and saw him bowl that extra bit of bounce as well on Indian tracks.
So Dill on a good length early, and you look at Justin Dill, both of these in terms of this matchup, Gous and Dill, part of the South African under-19 squad. It tells you how much talent he has. Justin Dill actually, get back to that after this delivery. So did you know that Justin Dill actually would have bowled alongside Kagiso Rabada in the 2013 under-19 World Cup? 12 wickets in 5 matches in that World Cup for Dill. I remember, well, I don't remember, I was a bit young at that stage, but seeing some old clips of him in that World Cup, the two were menacing as a pairing.
For the moment, he needs to replicate such a performance for his side to keep them in the game. Early wickets is the key. Don't think it's about containing the opponents here. Justin Dill knows that this game's about 10 good balls.
Down the trap. They were very confident, but he's so far down that it's very hard for the umpire to give him out. James Crosswith. And after, of course, after talking up Gous, he's very quiet to start, but he's let Crosswith take the majority of risks. Look how far he's come down the trap. It was a good shout, but he's halfway down. The ball definitely won't go on to hit the stumps from there. Angle down the leg side, and Crosswith able to come through.
Wait.
For the single. Yeah, Dill's been very impressive for the Stallions. It was the main reason why Suhas, they were able to get to that North Carolina finals weekend. He bowled well himself, but interested to see him in a different role for the Americans as captain this year.
He's a very cool, calm and collected captain. Jokes around a lot is what I'm told. She's embracing that opportunity. He's driven it nicely. The calls for two and this two written all over it. In fact, more.
It's a boundary. Andres Gous showing that touch. He's a very powerful player, but he has that to his game as well. Timing it well. That one was out of the top drawer. We didn't think it was going for 4, but it tells you when you really time it well and get it in the gap. Just looks so easy on the eye, effortless.
Usually it's all about power, isn't it? But today Andres Gous has brought his touch game to the fore.
Big swing and a miss. Better delivery. Good comeback. And you see there, getting a bit of deviation off the surface to leave the right hand is why he's got slip in place. Exciting end to the second over. 13 for none.
One, two, three.
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need one hand on the roof, one hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go Rewards.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go Rewards, when you fuel, you save. Because rewards come first.
Coming right over the wicket.
Well, the Prairie View Cricket Complex, the Thunderbolts, following up their excellent bowling performance with a stellar batting display in the first two. Of course, very close to the Prairie View A&M University. Just in the distance. Curtains closing slowly on a good day of cricket. Dwayne Smith, who didn't play a big part with the bat in hand after a couple of good shots in the first over. Now will come into the attack with the ball. Has made an impact with the ball in hand. 4 wickets he took in their second game of the campaign. The Americans. Can't wait to see when he finally does come into his own with the bat. He's such a destructive player. Correction, it was 3 wickets he took in 1 innings. Smith, this is almost a chance for a cat. Doesn't carry to Dill. At mid-on.
Sometimes you're still there because you haven't hit it too well, or you hit it too badly. James Crosswade, he's still looking for that one ball which can announce his arrival in this tournament. That one shot.
Dwayne Smith, he almost tricks you with that run-up. He's very slow to the crease, but when he gets there, much like we saw from Roshan Primus yesterday, a lot off the shoulders, but he's made a living because of his variation. Not necessarily with the new ball. He does go to seam up quite often. Good to see another Barbadian in this tournament. I'm telling you, can't keep us out of this minor league. Between the Nikhils, Nikhil Kanchan, Nikhil Datta, and then, of course, the Bajans. And, of course, my good friend Kevin, back in Utah. Producer for our coverage. He's a Bajan as well. In the air, just short. Agonizingly close to being the first wicket for the St. Louis Americans. Boy, did they need that.
A half an opportunity. These are the half opportunities which need to be converted into wickets because the cushion's depleting by the minute. He tried his level best there, almost getting a wicket. Smith, the keeper, had tried his best. But only so far can Kanchan go. Big swing and a miss. The arms did go up in the air, but it's a very silent appeal. Appeals are usually decided by decibel levels also.
Gous trying to change something, trying to really find that boundary. So good at starting powerfully in this initial power play, but it's been a struggle. Hasn't been the easiest surfaces to bat on, especially as the stride out, which has been tricky, and it goes to a point. No chance, little miscommunication between the two. Taking the safe option in the end, though. No risk needed. You just need to go up 5.5 runs and over.
Yeah, off the ricochet, but straight to the nearest fielder. That's a good delivery. Schofield apologizing right away. He knew the throw was a little wide. The umpire was in the line of fire too.
Gous. This is a big delivery. Just 1 run conceded from the first 5. Almost Dwayne Smith able to get his man. But what a first over, what a start for the experienced all-rounder. Just 1 run from the over, 14 for none.
At 3 overs, 14 for no loss. Interestingly, Andres Gous, who loves to get to a brilliant start, fiery start, is struggling for 6 of 12, and James Crosswade, a run ball 6 for him. A good delivery first up. Yeah, Justin Dill, very important over this for him. Hasn't produced a wicket yet. Desperately in need of one. Yeah, off late to this. That's in the air, will be taken. That's the wicket that Justin Dill was looking for. He sent a statement to the opposition and he's also sent a message to the boys. This is how it's done. The early wicket has come by. Seattle Thunderbolts get their first jolt. James Crosthwaite wanting to go over mid-off, finding the safe hands of mid-off. What a good catch. He decided to go sideways with a side cup and jumped so that it sticks nicely. James Crosthwaite departs early today.
Lefty. So left arm, please. So left arm.
Davinder Ranavira is walked out at number 3 today. Gets a game and also gets a lot of responsibility up top. He waited for his opportunities in this side. Now the left-hander is a different kind of a batter. He's played a lot of longer format back in Sri Lanka and then in the UK. And this is why Daminda is there. He didn't get the elevation and a lovely catch indeed. Had to get his hands in the right position. Justin Dill is making last-minute adjustments to the field. He wants a slip in place for the new man. Not a bad option at all for the southpaw, Daminda Ranavira. And of course, a mid-wicket in position too. Now watches it go. Watches it go very safely. Daminda Ranavira. It's been a good over so far. Wicket and 3 dot balls in it. I'm Suhas Vedam, joined by Mr. Jagan Nemani, head of MLC Academies. Very warm welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, Suhas. This is a lovely game to be and a terrific environment overall. I think thanks for having me here.
Yeah, you're also managing MLC Junior Championship. Tell us a bit about that experience. Swing and a miss. Lovely delivery indeed. Yes, Mr. Jagan.
Yeah, so MLC Junior Championship is something, like at MLC, we believe in the development of youth cricketers a lot. And one of the ways that we have them express their talent is by playing in a national level junior championship. It is all under 11 all the way to under 19, all the different age categories. And they meet 3-4 times a year, play close to 25 to 30 matches with, in a year against, really quality opposition.
Still will have to wait to get off the mark, Daminda. You mentioned that you're covering all age groups. So not only are you identifying talent at all age groups, you're tapping into talent?
That is true. So we have about 21 academies throughout the country, and what's happening is, well, what happens is these talent, are coached by really pro players like the Seattle, you see Andres House, Harmeet Singh, Shadley Van Shalvik. They're coached by them in Seattle, and they love their coaches. They become the biggest fans and always aspire to play at the same level that these professional players are playing. So it's an amazing combination, and then we give them a national championship to come and show the talent off.
But you're also working on something very, very important, MILC youth tournament that's in the pipeline.
Definitely. That is from July 25th to 29th.
That still will not be collected cleanly. There are more runs written on it. These are literally gifts to Seattle Thunderbolts. Yes, the third one's complete as well. Mr. Chuck, in the youth tournament.
Yeah, so July 25th to 29th, we are conducting our first edition of UST MILC Youth Tournament. It is mostly under 19 tournament with 3 under 21 players, where the best of the players in that age category from the country will be picked to come and play here.
Big appeal. In desperate need of the second wicket, Smith is appealing too. The finger that matters has stayed down, and it looks like it's going to be a leg by as well. We'll wait for the umpire's signal. No, it is off the bat. That's what has saved him there. Now what that single will do is it'll put Andres Gous back on strike. As far as the MLC youth tournament is concerned, sir, it seems to be a lovely pathway to the international level as well. Oh, good bounce from Dwayne Smith. What that tournament does is acts as a lovely pathway, and of course it teaches youth to dream again.
Exactly. So we have seen such lovely competitive matches, like 3 super over matches already in this competition. We want the kids to feel the same way when they play MILC Youth, is they're playing amongst themselves, but they're playing at the same competitive level, and so that they mentally prepare themselves to play here.
Wonderfully played. Despite that dive, the ball will evade. It's an outfield which is Gou's best friend at the moment. 4 for the taking. A terrific shot indeed. Absolutely, you want the youths to feel that they're playing at the highest level too, because they're getting the broadcast, of course. They're getting the facilities as well, and fans of coaches, they turn up too, so it makes a lot of difference to that as well when you see your coach being cheered on.
Of course, and I'm sure there are a lot of kids who are being coached by these pro players are dreaming to come to a stage like this and play exactly the way these guys are playing and really showcase their talent. So that's a good ecosystem they built.
It's important to show the youth the ladder they have to climb to reach the highest level, and of course rubbed shoulders with the ones who aspired and been there as well after aspiring. The question is, with the MILC Youth Tournament, there'll be a lot of youngsters willing to pick up the bat and ball. What do the people who eventually succeed get? What is the reward they have?
Yeah, so we, from MLC Junior Championship to MILC Youth to MILC, we want to go pick up the best of the youth talent.
No, inside out, that's another shot that Gous loves to play. Anything pitched up, he will go for it. Smith is realizing, yes, there were dot balls in the over, but 2 poor deliveries put away with these. He's hiding the seam. It's a marvelous shot indeed, no half measures.
So with the
24 for 1 after 5.
Yeah, so with this program, the kids who perform really well in this MILC Youth as well as MLC Junior Championship and MILC, we'll pick them up and we'll kind of take them into a high performance training camp. So we're building a high performance center which will have a nice ground, 5 turf wickets for practice, plus we're going to get a level 4 coach out there who's going to work with these kids to develop and hone their skills to the next level. And after that, we take these kids to India to play against some of the under-19 state level teams in India. So we're creating this whole pathways for them so that they can come in, they can perform on the ground, get picked, go and kind of train at the highest levels and that face the highest level competition in the world and make that happen.
Well, introducing a new bowler now.
Come on, Ahmed, buddy, you know what to do.
Tapping talent, of course, at different age groups is one thing, and preparing them mentally is quite another. Yes, technical aspect of it, the coaches will take care of. Tell us a bit about having well-rounded players at the end of it.
Of course, there are multiple aspects of preparing them mentally.
That's good.
Competitive games is one. MILC Youth is going to be one such competitive tournament where we are preparing them on every mental aspect that they can. Best of the youth players are going to be part of it.
Right there, yeah.
Ahmed Butt
Yeah, right there, Ahmed.
starts off with a lovely delivery. He's got a slip in place as well. Well, with young cricketers listening in, you also have scholarships, I believe.
Yes, of course. So we will be announcing UST scholarship for 5 talented youth cricketers at the end of MILC Youth Tournament. Now these kids will not only get the scholarship, and it'll be a well-rounded scholarship. They'll get some exciting coaching opportunities, some exciting training opportunities that we will announce soon. So a lot of exciting stuff happening. MLC is totally committed towards building a youth pipeline, and we're doing quite a few stuff to kind of make that happen.
Adil Butt quickly getting through the over. Well, looks like every youth cricketer who's listening in, the platform to perform has been given to you. And of course, the conditions to bloom and blossom as well. That's hit high, that's hit nicely in the gap too.
No shot,
Much needed boundary to break the monotony of 3-dot balls. Daminder Ranavira gets going off his 7th delivery. So youth cricketers listening in, platform to perform has definitely been given to you. And of course, it's up to you to be groomed into well-rounded cricketers in the hands of these fantastic coaches of level 4, mentored by the best to become the best. Thank you very much, Mr. Jagan, for joining here.
Thank you for having me, and good luck to both the teams. Game is still poised nicely. May the best team win.
That was Mr. Jagan Nimani, head of MLC Academies. Also runs the MLC Junior Championship and told us about MLC Youth Tournament that is in the pipeline. All right, so 6 it is, and after that everything is a dot ball. Warm welcome, Nikhil. Gently tapped away. Will pick up a single. 7 runs of Adil's first over. Ahmed Butt, 7 of it. 31 for 1.
Zooper is the world's most powerful field service management solution to work your way and drive more impact. As the most flexible and customizable app for your field operations, Zooper is field service your way. Learn more at zooper.co.
How did a global retail pharmacy increase orders by 100%? How did a multinational bank build a #1 rated digital app? With people who help leading companies transform through technology. Engineer a better future. Discover how at ust.com.
The action developing nicely here, especially in the favor of the Seattle Thunderbolts. Yes, they lost that early wicket, but Ranavira has come to the crease. A couple of big blows from him, allowing that score rate to continue. Remember, just 5.5 runs needed to get to victory. That's been set up because of their excellent bowling display, restricting the Americans to just 108. A star-studded lineup. Luke Schofield, Dwayne Smith, who we saw with the bat in hand. We know the power that he possesses, but they did well. Basupali will continue.
Now Murali Basupalli, very experienced. He's played the longer format more. Now is also making a mark in this T20 tournament and T20 format. The way he's been used would be a story in itself.
You just have
Basupalli.
You just have to think about how much that Super Over win would have done for the confidence of this Thunderbolts team yesterday against the Lone Star Athletics. Getting a win. Thanks to Andres Gous, the destruction. He's got another start here. Much different to that innings. 76 from 49 today, just 14 from 18. But he's still there in the middle. I do think Suhas, if he does stay in the middle, pretty much for the next 10 overs, this game we might be at home by that time. Because he has that ability to just flick the switch at any stage. At least a power play though for the Americans.
Long way.
Oh yes, he's a ticking time bomb.
No. That's it.
Davinder Ranavira again, someone who's played the longer format a lot more. He's feeling a taste of what he's actually tasting how this format would be like. But he's someone who brings so much stability. And since it's not a daunting target, Captain Hermes decided to send him at number 3.
Straight to the man. I'm very interested to see for the American side of things. Yes, regardless of this result, you're still early in the tournament. I want to see how this bowling lineup develops as the tournament goes on. They're without 2 big names. Siddharth Trivedi from last season picked up 17 wickets, their most, and of course Jacobus Pinar, the all-rounders mentioned in the first innings. 30 wickets between the two. It's a huge gap to fill, but the likes of Dwayne Smith, Basupalli and others that they brought in will certainly help in that regard. Good start to the over 4 dots.
Daminda right away going in, tapping the surface. He's bowled really well, Basupalli. Now he's easy to take that single, Daminda.
That's it.
He's not getting any. 5-dot balls strung together, just what the doctor ordered.
And even if with this run rate at 4.5 runs per over, you think wickets is what's going to win you this game. And they'll also know that the Thunderbolts is a long batting lineup with the likes of Van Skalvik in terms of that lower order. The other crossweight brother got a start yesterday in that win. Happy about this, Basupalli, to start his spell. Can he close it out well? Does just that. A maiden over, very rare in T20 cricket to see that. He's bowled well so far, Murali Basupalli, 31 for 1.
Seven overs gone, 31 for 1. James Crothwaite was the first to go. Crossway, James 6 or 9. Andres Gous and Daminda Ranavira find themselves in the middle. Gous has been quiet for the 18 deliveries he's faced. 14 of them he scored. James Crosswaite's played a lot of cricket in England. I would expect him to drive the ball down the ground as well when he wants to, but looked like another half-hearted stroke. He believed he can clear Dinser. Justin Dill was successful. And Justin Dill's decided it's going to be trial but spin. But
I don't think Andres Gous will mind this too much. Has struggled against Dwayne Smith and others. Seam on the deliveries. So that bit of lack of pace could actually work in the favor of the Thunderbolts. Of course, we did see Budogan bowl extremely well, as well as Harmeet Singh. So have seen spinners as this surface has gotten much drier over the last 2 days. Of course, another exciting day of cricket coming to you tomorrow. Begs the question as to what we can expect for those 2 matches, the final 2 of this holiday weekend in the 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. Been a blockbuster 2 weekends, premium coverage on Willow TV and MLC Network. Been a huge opportunity to have this sort of coverage, the exposure globally. Across the line, but there is that deep mid-wicket fielder. Just be a single.
Well done, Luke. Well done, Ahmed bhai. Come boys.
Tomorrow, the early morning game, the Thunderbolts in action again against the SoCal Lashings. That'll be a really good game. The Lashings picked up a win yesterday.
He's good.
And in the evening time,
Batsman, right arm round to you.
Hurricanes taking on the Lashings again. So 2 games for the SoCal Lashings. Big shot down the ground. He got it straight, but that long on fielder is very fine for that reason. Knows exactly where he wants the ball, but decent first over, went for just 7 runs.
Righty.
This one, very fine. Innovation at its finest from Andres Gous. Is why he's the best batter in this Thunderbolts team. He does the bulk of the way in terms of the scoring. Excellent shot selection when things aren't really going his way. He's fighting it out, battling through the adversity.
He's seen the balls enough to be playing this stroke as well. He's picked his spot nicely with third man inside the circle, or dare I say fine leg. He's got it for 4. Because he's very quickly will turn into a left-hander. 6 runs of the first 3. Waiting for Butt's response now.
Lovely, Ahmed.
And it is something we saw earlier today from Suckling Hyder. The use of that switch hit, the use of the reverse sweep. Andres Gous, the right-hander, wanting to hit into the offside, but knowing as well that third was up in the circle. Excellent awareness by him. Got the full face of the bat. Once he got it past that fielder, knew it was 4. Ranawera and good nick. 37 yesterday for the Sri Lankan. Going at it hard. That's going to be 4 more. Good big over. You mentioned lack of pace at the start of the over. It was always going to be a risk for Justin Dill and his team. And clearly going the way of the Thunderbolts.
Now, Ranawera is someone who's faced so many spin deliveries coming from the lander spin in Sri Lanka. For him, minimum width is more than enough. Beautiful shot for 4.
Yesterday, Ranawera and Gous opened the batting together and put on a 95-run partnership. That was at the Musa Stadium for this Thunderbolts team as they faced the Lone Star Athletics in a win. What a brilliant understanding between the two. And clearly, it's been a fruitful partnership for this team. End of the 8th over, an expensive one for the Americans, trying their very best to will something in their way. 42 for 1. Plenty of action happening around the Prairie View Cricket Complex. 5 games, all happening as we speak. That's the benefits of having facilities like this here in Houston, Texas, where you have 5 state-of-the-art fields where you can have high-quality playing, especially on turf surfaces. Interesting move that he's gone back to Basupali. Need wickets if you're Justin Dill.
No, not 1, but he needs 2 now. Basupali gave nothing away in the first over that he bowled to Ranawera. He's making a plethora of field changes. He's got a man at backward point. Third man's inside the circle. Man at mid-wicket. Now third man's dropped back now. Third man's dropped back. Now decided to against it then.
Gous goes hard and 2 men behind square up in the circle. It will be more runs for him. Doesn't matter how they come, Andres Gous. First runs off Basupali. Bit unfortunate for him. But the runs beginning to flow. Thinking for Dill and the Americans to do.
You could have had one of them back then. A bit hard, it couldn't do much about it. It's not Basupali's fault, he knows. A ball too good for the keeper as well.
Yeah, I'm interested to see from the other end. The last over was very expensive. Went for 11 runs. You can't afford to concede. That's almost twice the asking rate this stage. Full toss this time, down the ground, but into the man. No, it's not, it's over him. And that's the sheer force, brute force, off the middle of the bat from Gous. I think it was misjudged by the long-on fielder. Ran in a long way. Now she went for a boundary, just bounced one bounce before it went over the ropes.
Absolutely right, Nikhil. He misjudged it, Ahmad Butt. And in the end, it became a story of overrunning, but the ball not stopping.
And all of a sudden, 21 runs scored from the last 7 deliveries. Now things slipping away slowly but surely from the St. Louis Americans.
This is why, Nikhil, there were no doubts or no questions raised when Andres Gous wasn't scoring runs for the first 18 balls.
What I will also say, though, from Justin Dill, I think he could have been slightly more aggressive. Looking for the ball still. Some thick bush out there. Be careful of snakes. Be careful of all those creatures in the desert here in Houston, Texas. I don't even want to begin to rattle off, pun intended, the animals could be in that grass. You didn't get the pun, you know, rattlesnakes who has rattlesnakes.
I did get it. You don't have to dumb it down.
No, the viewers at home as well, you know.
Yeah, there you go. I think you didn't see me smirk. You were too involved in that line of yours. Now, the piece of leather is back, though. That's good news.
So 10 from the first 2. A chance as well for Gous to refresh. Remember, he was 14 from 18. All of a sudden, the next 5 deliveries, he scored 16 runs. The power of this man and also the benefit of spending time at the crease. Excellent stuff from the Thunderbolts as they go past 50 with that maximum. So boundary was actually given a maximum in the end. As I thought, first of all. So 10 from the first 2.
Yeah, 10 of the first 2. Basupalli gave nothing away in the first 6 balls of his. And then one which wasn't collected by Kanchan behind the wickets with the gloves. And one that was hit just well enough to go for 6.
A discussion of Crosswait's there. Adam Crosswaite, the other brother, would have been speaking to James. Find out exactly how conditions have played. Peculiar to have as they come back for 2. Should get it quite easily in the end. Gous is quick. Real peculiar to have 2 brothers, both from Australia, playing in the same team. Adam and James Crosswaite. They will be big additions, though, for the Seattle Thunderbolts team and could be what they needed and missed last season. That international experience. A couple of games, well, games at the first class level for both of these. So could provide that bit of extra added impetus this year. So in the 9th over. How do you dismiss Andres Gous?
Easier question asked. Andres Gous 32 of 24, 33 of 25 with that single.
Yeah, this year so far in the minor league, 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, Gous has struck the ball at 155, averaged over 50 as well. He's been hard to dismiss. 75 not out yesterday, almost half his runs, more than half his runs in this tournament, and we'll be looking to get things over with pretty quickly. Just 4.76 needed from here on in.
Yes, important for Andres Gous to just continue to play his natural game. If it's in the slot, he must go for it. And Davinder Ranavira has anyways been playing his natural game.
Cut, and cut well past point, and you can feel that cover won't have a chance. How this game has turned. And it was just a matter of time before you felt things would begin to open up. A good way to end the 9th over. A very expensive one, 18 from it, 60 for 1. Going up more than 6.5 runs per over. Pretty much a dream start. This similar stage, they were 58 for 2. It's not far off at 60 for 1, but the key thing is the way things fell apart in the back 10 overs for this team. They were only able to post 47 runs and lost 7 wickets in the last 10 overs for St. Louis Americans. And really, that will be a big setback for them after 178 yesterday against the San Diego Surf Riders. Of course, it's a different bowling attack, a very much stronger bowling attack, the Thunderbolts. But we would expect to get more than 108 on a good surface.
Absolutely. Now that Ayan Khan's come back as well, be expecting a wicket over here. I'll tell you what, Nikhil. St. Louis Americans, they'll look at their 20 overs by dividing it into 2. The first 10, they were well in the game with just 3 wickets down. The second 10 was a complete collapse.
Yeah, had to go back to Khan. Just 1 over for 7 runs, but he's a wicket taker, 5-wicket haul already in this tournament. But Runawera is clearly in a hurry. And I'm surprised Dill has gone to pace off the ball. I don't think these two have been around now, been together for a while, will hold back.
They're doing just enough, depending on the target here. And I just think, just like Chennai Super Kings had the Badrinath factor, Seattle Thunderbolts have Daminda Ranavira factor. You need 9 and over, perhaps he'll be held back. You need 6 and over, he'll be sent in. And in the target, which is not daunting at all, Ranavira can play himself in, stick at one end, avoid and be the circuit breaker, avoid any collapse. Now change in field for Ayan Khan. Kanchan also helping out with the angles as a keeper on the offside. Now on the leg side, there are men patrolling the boundary rope. There is a deep backward square. And a man at deep mid wicket.
Oh, beauty, beauty.
Again, we'll scamp it for the quick single.
Well done, Ayan.
I think Justin Dill, the captain, has got to come into the game now. 2 overs, 1 for 5 for him. This partnership slowly taking the game away. Very hard to win from this position already, but you need wickets. Dill, 2 overs, a maiden, 1 for 5. This partnership worth 47 runs. Came together in the 4th over. Ranawira, I mentioned the fact that they opened the batting together yesterday. On the trap. May have been a chance to send Crossway up the order to try and get him in rhythm. That's probably why they disrupted the opening pair with such a small total chasing.
No, that's one of the things that you could think of, that's for sure. Threw it a little wide as he saw the batter dance down the track. Just watching the batter to the last moment. It's an art in itself. That's what the coaches try and teach you when you say you want to be a spinner.
Flighted down the ground as well. Very straight, so the fielder has some work to do. Set us for 1. Ranawira.
Good stuff, Ahmad, good stuff.
The most aggressive innings, but for the situation, he's played it magnificently well, especially with Gous at the other end, striking it again over 140.
Come on, buddy, come on, Ayan.
So far, so good for Ayan Khan. 3 singles.
How is that? How is that? How is that?
It's the outside edge. Good delivery to Gous. They tried everything at the hard-hitting South African Andres Gous. Mentioned Ayan Khan comes in with so much experience. 25 one internationals, the highest level for Oman, of course. And almost getting that back leg to be raised, but Gous, big stride forward. 70-20 internationals as well.
Much like how Zishan Maqsood uses him in Oman, Justin Dill just borrowed a leaf out of Zishan Maqsood's book as far as using Ayan Khan's concerned here.
Maqsood, another player in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sunoco. They do have the stars in this tournament. End of 10, 65 for 1.
Yeah. At the halfway stage, 65 for 1, and this is how Seattle Thunderbolts got there. James Crosthwaite was the first to go for 6. Andrej Gous still out there for 40 or 29. It's been a tremendous innings, the way he's paced it. I mean, the Ranavira's 15 of 22 has been a handy knock as well.
So why are you doing all this time?
Clearly see that surging up in the right direction for the Thunderbolts. Well on their way to victory. Expect them from here on in with a well-set Gous, a well-set partnership at the crease. Should really get home from here. Just 44 needed from the remaining 60 deliveries. Less than 4.5 runs per over. Thunderbolts have been much improved in this 2022 tournament. Wouldn't be possible without our presenting sponsor, Sunoco. Basically all of our corporate partners, Dafa News and Toyota, been with us for a second year in this minor league, taking the game to the global reach. Of course, premium coverage on MLC Network and Willow TV. So Gous patiently waiting, but be eyeing another 50. Just 3 50s in the 2021 season. Was really disappointed about the amount of starts that he was able to get, but not able to kick on. Man of this power, the more time he spends at the crease, the more danger to the opposition. Dwayne Smith is going to come back into the attack.
Justin Dill has decided to go to pace now. Smith was terrific initially. Now the role remains the same. Provide wickets. Provide wickets with more cushion this time around in the deep. 12 deliveries, 9 runs. That's what Dwayne Smith's figures read.
Still disappointed. I wanted to see Dill back into the attack at some stage, whether he comes from the other end. He's the leading wicket taker in this team. The leader of the attack as well as the captain. So back himself. Really and truly, you're going to need a miracle from here to save this game, but you have to start by taking one at a time, one wicket at a time, that is. Can look to target Ranawira. Hasn't been the most convincing 15 from him. You get his wicket, you try to get a bit closer to Gous, who's looked untouchable at the moment.
What's been good to see, Nikhil, is the fact that Andres Gous, who usually gets a little impatient because he wants his partner to match him shot for shot as well, he didn't. When Ranawira was going slow, Andres Gous was quite patient too.
Yeah, bowler coming right arm over the wicket.
Yeah, Gous has been brilliant. Perfect mix, as you said, of aggression. It's called controlled aggression from Andres Gous at the top of the order. A man that comes in with a first class average of over 40, you expect that. And just helps it along its way. Hitting into the smaller side. Dwayne Smith too short. And he's a man that's hitting it like this. 75 yesterday, 44 now today. Man on the charge.
A good shot for a man who usually hits it very, very hard. He also concentrated on placement. That was a poor delivery, the first poor delivery in so many deliveries from Dwayne Smith. And he's picked the right spot as well. Backward square was in place, it went very fine.
What Gous did really well there is as the pitch is slowing down, it's getting a lot drier. Just stuck in the wicket. Much better length. But again, Gous is equal to the task and even better, it races to the boundary. This man, exquisite timing from Andres Gous mixed with brute force.
A terrific shot once again. Andres Gous, the footwork exceptional. Moments ago he was pulling the ball to perfection. Now slightly full. And you could see the feet right up there. Beautiful shot. Didn't try to hit it hard once again. He's just easing into those drives as well. Andres Gous is looking good for another half century.
Goes it hard again, but this time cover in place. Got to put that from Gous. If he gets his half century as well, indefinite match winning, one away from a 50. Has to be on the cover. The front page of Dafa News. Just almost premeditating the length. After the short delivery, the previous one, knew it would be full. Once he beat mid-off up in the circle, Always going to be a boundary. 10 runs from the over, just 34 away. It will help their net run rate as well. The Thunderbolts to win by with 5+ overs as well to spare.
Justin Dill has gone to pace, and pace has proved expensive. 10 runs. He's decided to change an angle, it seems. No, it's quite content.
Goes short, but slower short delivery. Beats him for pace. Ranawira hasn't found his range of hitting as yet in this inning, but he's supporting Gous well. End of the 11th, 75 for 1.
Hey, Lucia. Any chance you can help me type a report?
Of course.
You are the best.
Oh, all this says is Q4 report.
Hey, Trevor, how's that report coming?
It's going great. Working on it right now.
So back at the action. Not far away from winning this game, the Seattle Thunderbolts, and going to their 3rd win of this tournament in a very jam-packed Pacific Conference. Likely go to 3-1. There'll be an action again tomorrow on the premium coverage, taking on the SoCal Lashings. But in this Central Division, work to be done for the St. Louis Americans. If they lose today, they'll go to 50%, 2-2. But you look at Suhas in this conference with the Strikers, the Grizzlies, 2 unbeaten teams. Every game will be crucial to the Thunderbolts. And Khan back into the attack.
Rightly said, Nikhil, and as I also put a little earlier, it's a team that travels more. It's got less home games, and so they've got to be at their best when they pack their bags.
Again, good delivery from Khan, but they've been content to just see him out. And Khan just 6 runs per over. You look at this group though. Silicon Valley Strikers, the Grizzlies, East Bay Blazers, who already have impressed. And then the Thunderbolts. Wow, that has to be maybe the strongest group of this tournament. Again, good delivery. Goes 1 away from a half-century.
Good ball, and
It's good to see Gous being patient today. That's been the mark of this innings, apart from the regular.
But with that sweep, he'll get it fine, but just not fine enough. Just be a single, but he'll get to a half-century, a 2nd in this tournament for Andreas Gous. It was something that he wanted to emphasize this season. With just 3 last year, his 2nd 50 in 4 games. Excellent from the big man.
This one's the way he had to fight a lot. 50 of 35. Had to play it out the difficult phases and bat according to the situation. It's a well-compiled half-century. It's a half-century that young kids would be watching and learning a lot from. Especially back in Seattle, where he coaches many. They're big fans of his.
Fortunate Ian Khan to get away with a top ball there. Just on the tram line. Narira has been happy to do this, just content to push it around. Rightfully so when he has Gous at the other end. 2nd 50 for Andreas Gous. Been a joy to watch.
And this is by far been a different kind of a half-century as well. Not the regular Gous kind of a half-century when he goes bang bang, gets to 50 as a benchmark, not a milestone. So this kind of a track has been different.
Off the outside edge. In that 390 runs he scored, 399 runs it was he scored last season. Only 3 half-centuries for Gous. He wants to better that this year. He's already got 2. End of the 12th, 77 for 1. stacked Pacific Conference. You mentioned the Hurricanes is your team to watch, but in Group B, the Thunderbolts backs against the walls throughout with those 3 strong teams above them. They have to win important games.
Oh, absolutely, and they've got the game for it. They've got the team for it as well, and they're improving by the game. It's been such a treat to watch. All we can promise you that it's going to be top-notch action. Dallas Mustangs, they've been cruising. 3 out of 3 for them.
Got to put one of those Bay Area teams, whether the Grizzlies, the Strikers. That's a stacked group. Group of death, as they like to say in football. Only 32 needed to win. 4 runs and over required from here on in. It's going to be spin again. I think Renoira, who's struggled so far, will be fancying his chances. Leg spin into the attack for the first time today. Bajpai, who's brought into this, don't know how much of an impact he can make. Just needing 32 to win, but I can tell you if he gets it wrong, Renoira will back himself to go over the straight boundary. Big gap between cover and long off. He'll be eyeing that up with the ball spinning away. Huge vacancy in that offside for Renoira, so has to be very precise. Bajpai does have the extra cover, but in the circle. Goes short. Renoira pulls, and work to be done on the boundary. Excellent work in the end. She was heading for a certain boundary. It's a very fast outfield. Luke Schofield does well.
This is getting into a zone where you'd call this an easy run chase. Renoira wanted more. Schofield had other ideas. Wonderful dive.
Very flat, Bajpai, not giving the ball much air, not giving the ball much time to spin. I think you need wickets. You're looking for wickets. Very defensive bowling at this stage. Renoira will be happy to just play him like a seamer. There it is, much slower, but the direction was wrong.
Yeah, the idea was there. The execution wasn't.
This time again in the onside, but again down to that fielder. Just be a single. This is purpose though from Bajpai. If you're watching at home, you're seeing all 4 of those deliveries pitching on the leg stump. Wants to force these batters into the bigger side. So that's why we've seen 3 pull shots from Renoira.
No, would be kicking himself there. I mean, the Renoira pull shots, one of his favorite strokes. He hasn't been able to find the boundary on those deliveries. Every time it's pitch shot, he usually sees that his eyes go agog and he picks up a boundary. He's not a big fan of hitting the ball in the air though. He's been a part of cricket of that era, the pre-T20 era. For him to be playing this and absorbing pressure and understanding the game, molding himself into this format of the game, it's been a big learning curve for the legend himself. This game does, makes you change. It's beautifully played.
Yeah, down the ground, just a single. Decent over from Bajpai with the wide. Much flighted, much more flight on offer. Got a hand to it as well. She probably stopped it from going for a boundary. Down the track again, Renoira. He's watched for a long time. It's in the gap as well. It's smart aggression to find that cow corner region. Big gap between mid-wicket and long on. Pierces it well. Finally, that one, he will celebrate that boundary after a struggle. Good way to end the over. 85, 86 for 1. So one more delivery in the over from Bajpai. Oh, almost off the outside edge. Nothing has gone his way. More runs on offer. Coming back for 2 as well, Runawira. Expensive over. Finally comes to an end. End of 13. 88 now for 1.
$88 for 1. In 13 overs, James Crosswit was the only wicket to be dismissed. Andres Gous and Daminda Ranavira are doing it in style at the moment. Andres Gous, a well-compiled half-century, 51 or just 37. An innings where he had to struggle a little, an innings we had to show patience as well. And a lot of batting to come, of course, with Rahul Singh, Meet, Jagrup, Raina. All those hitters, of course, still funny.
I don't think they'll be needed. Just 21 runs to win from 42 balls. Just 3 runs and over. So, well on their way to pick up their 3rd win, the Thunderbolts. And Cantable his final over. Straight to the man. Very close he's cutting from Andres Gous on that off stump. A lot of room to play with.
He's got a slider as well.
So now this one cut past point this time. He was looking for that and he finally gets the execution right. Andres Gous, well, everything he's touched has turned to goal today. He moves into the 50s. 55 now for him.
No, he's in a hurry. He's in a hurry to finish this off. And when you bowl short, you're asking for trouble, especially to Andres Gous, is already batting so well.
The previous delivery had tried that cut shot, didn't beat the man at point. This time, though, did. Great timing from him. So, pressure on. Less than 20 to win now. 17 for victory.
Good ball, good ball. Well ball, well ball, well ball.
Not much better this time. Ayaan Khan, he's bowled 2 dot deliveries, but 1 poor delivery and it's disappeared before.
Almost off the outside edge.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Looking to turn the back face.
Quite done, quite done.
And a boundary is all that Seattle Thunderbolts require at this stage, with a required rate of 2.62.
Two extra cover and a boundary for Gous. Out of the top drawer, that one. Inside out. It's gone all the way for 6 as well. So not a boundary, and this man, well, he's been excellent with the bat in hand.
It's difficult to stay put and hit it this way. Couple of bounces into the fence. Oh, lovely shot. It's good to see that he's bringing a different dimension of his game today. Andres Gous is improving as the tournament's progressing. These are great signs for Seattle Thunderbolts.
Come on, buddy.
On the cusp of what would be another important win in this tournament.
Again, same region, same result. Andres Gous, you can't keep this man out of the game, and oppositions are going to fear bowling to him as he goes through this tournament. 100 comes up.
Yeah, this has been a dominant performance. Seattle Thunderbolts stand on the cusp of what would be a fantastic victory indeed. Steamrolling the opposition inside out. 1 bounce into the fence this time. Stand and deliver kind of a cricketer. 3 boundaries in Ayaan's over.
Yeah, ball in, ready.
100 for 1.
My son, he's so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom. Born for your true self. The 2022 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
So just 9 runs needed now for victory after carnage in the last over from Andres Gous. Smoking Ayan Khan for 3 boundaries. Since that 5-wicket haul, Ayan Khan has found it very difficult to pick up wickets. Picked up 5 in the first game, but struggled since. Justin Dill, you think it's just probably a bit too late to see the captain back into the attack. I called for it very early. Suhas probably would have wanted to see him bowl out his 4 straight away because of this conditions. Of course, this tournament fueled by Sunoco. So fantastic to have members like Sunoco, but also like Toyota, the title sponsors for this 2022 MILC. Have them on board, taking the game globally. To have stars like a Dwayne Smith, like Justin Dill, from all different parts of the world. Just 9 to win now. Of course, Andres Gous, he's got to be on the cover of Dafa News, is settled. Getting some sharp bounce. Dill.
Righty. Come this way.
Yeah, perhaps one more over in between somewhere for Justin Dill, where the game was still in the balance. Now the game is out of grasp as far as the St. Louis Americans are concerned. Seattle Thunderbolts cruising towards 2 more points.
Don't forget, 1 over. Suhas, I wanted to see him bowl straight through. I think he's just genuine wicket taker, Justin Dill. 20+ wickets, 21 last season. He knows exactly how he should take wickets. That was in the Atlantic Conference for the Stallions. Different challenge for him, especially as captain. But with that added responsibility as a leader, back yourself. Almost rolling onto his stumps. Runawira pulls out the right boot. It's actually Gous.
Andres Gous perhaps wanting to finish this off, not in style here. Justin Dill's kept it really good. Once again, one that cuts back in so much. Had to do a bit of football as well in there to ensure the ball doesn't trickle into the stumps.
Not appeal, but definitely very high. So Andres Gous hit on the thigh pad. They're 2 very good friends. Gous and Dill, they've come up together, both around that South Africa youth setup, the under-19 setup at very similar times. So this will be a good contest for bragging rights between the 2. He wanted that wicket, but definitely going over very high, maybe even outside the line as well.
I think that appeal was out of desperation. He knew, Justin Dill knew. It was very high indeed. Gous is also a well-built man. The fact that he had to jump to get there. Justin Dill so far has done good. Just 1 run off the bat.
In the air, but Dwayne Smith at straight mid wicket, can't cut it off, and it's going to be a... It won't be a boundary. He's got a hand to it. Smith, which has slowed down the pace, comes back for 3 runs. We make that 2. Just 5 away now. 1 hit away, Suhas. How much you want to see a maximum here? Finish it off with a statement piece, Runawira.
Ranavira on strike, I don't think so. Gous on strike you can expect. Ranavira, for him the achievement is to stay there till the end and see his team through. He's been lovely with those scores.
Dot delivery. Of course, this MILC presented by Sunoco. Great to have them on board for this year and this season. End of 15, 104 for 1.
Zuper is the world's most powerful field service management solution to work your way and drive more impact. As the most flexible and customizable app for your field operations, Zuper is field service your way. Learn more at zuper.co.
Just 1 hit away now. Seattle Thunderbolts. Remember, they won only 7 games last season. So to be 3 wins in 4 games this year is a huge improvement. They've got a improved team as well. This partnership proving fruitful yet again in the 2nd game in a row, seeing their team over the line. 5 needed from 5 overs. Any chance of a comeback for the Americans?
That seems very unlikely with 9 wickets in hand. Seattle Thunderbolts have the right men to do the job as well. Andres Gous has been magnificent. I love the way he grounds it out.
Get him up.
He understands that the surface he was batting on yesterday was different, so his innings compilation is going to be different. 63 of 45. And he covers up, as he always does. And Ranavira's 27 of 36 was only possible because of Gous' impetus towards the end.
It also tells you about a very strong top order. Almost a complete contradiction to what we saw earlier today with the Houston Hurricanes. They can take a page out of this, but second game in a row where the top 3 have done the job. Straight to the man, Gous. We wanted to hit the winning runs. Yesterday, 125 for 1 in the 15 overs before rain halted play at the Musa Stadium. So not giving many others in that batting lineup a chance. Runawera, Crossway, and of course Andres Gous, second 50 consecutively in this tournament.
Get more runs. Bit of a misfield. The second one's on. I really wanted to see a better fielding effort, of course, not just this one, but as a whole when it comes to Seattle. And of course, St. Louis Americans. The reason I say that, Nikhil, you know that it's a deflated total. You've got to make it look bigger. Throwing yourself around will make it look bigger. And of course, being disciplined by not giving extras will do so as well. Are you happy with the fact, with the way they've gone after this particular total?
Always going to be tough on the bowling team. Just 108 on the board. It's got to start from the batting. They have shown us glimpses in the tournament with totals of 178, the Americans. No need to panic. You're only 4 games in, 2-2. You take that, especially after last season where they finished 6th in that Central Division. So it's an improved start. Have to go back to the drawing board, but have to get the batting right. Very hard to criticize the bowlers on this occasion. Justin Dill will know that. If they can manage a bit more throughout the top order, probably prioritize that first 6 overs where they have been a bit hot and cold. Lost 4 wickets in the very first game, 2 again today. Always a setback in that first 6 with just 2 fielders outside. Have to maximize the restrictions. This time over the top, and that will be the game. Very fitting, the icing on the cake, that the runs hit by Andres Gous, who has produced his second 50 in 2 days. And the Seattle Thunderbolts showing that they're a team to watch in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship.
Wonderful shot to end the game as well. It was always going to be 4. It was always in the arc. Andres Gous, 2 contrasting innings in 2 days. But carrying the bat through, showing immense maturity and showing why he's considered as one of the top batters here. Andres Gous, take a bow.
But he played the situation so well, just knowing that they need to score less than 6 runs and over. Ensure that he saw it over the line for his team. Runawera supported him well, and the 2 came together in the 4th over. Put on a partnership worth 98 runs between them. So excellent stuff for the Seattle Thunderbolts, who now go to 3-1 and will be very happy with the way they've started. Of course, have an important game tomorrow, but if they can come out of that with a win, 4-1 after the first 5 games, looking like a serious force to reckon with in this tournament. So Gous, statement piece for him, finishing with 60. And for the Americans, as we said, they've got to go back to the drawing board. It has to start with the bat in hand. Justin Hill will know that. Will know how important his openers, Dwayne Smith and Luke Schofield, are.
Yeah, this team's growing from strength to strength. Seattle Thunderbolts winning by 9 wickets. Will do a world of good to the net run rate as well. Not only is it affecting the first column but the last column of the points table. Seattle Thunderbolts cruise to their total. James Crosswaite is the only wicket they lost for 6. Andres Gous carrying his back, 71 of 49. And ably supported by Daminda Ranavira, 27 of 36 to get to 112.
Always going to be hard for the Americans. The bowlers, they tried hard. Dill was good at the start. Picked up a wicket early, but no real help. Dwayne Smith tried his way, but couldn't pick up the crucial wicket. So the 6 options used But in the end, the Thunderbolts winning convincingly by 9 wickets, set up by Andreas Gous, and of course the bowlers, Badogan with 2, Simaju with 3, winning by some 9 wickets. So, in terms of how the action would have unfolded, highlights for you. Well, it was really a one-sided affair, highlighted by Andreas Gous at the top of the order. And he came down the track, crossweight, well, picked out the mid-off fielder. But other than that, all the Thunderbolts show, led by that man Gous, second 50 in the tournament. Just did so well, maneuvered the field well, especially the dimensions, attacked the smaller side. Runawera did the perfect innings for his team, able to get, that was a crafty shot from Andreas Gous. And Runawera, even though, yes, it wasn't the most convincing of his knocks, we're very happy with the way he supported and played the situation. Andreas Gous, though, take a bow. Yes, that's how it goes when you're in a purple patch. Sometimes you get fortune going your way. Full toss, can't bowl there. Misjudged by the long-on fielder. Well, Dwayne Smith tried to mix it up with his variations, but Gous was just better to the task. The day for Andreas Gous and also the Seattle Thunderbolts. Anything short, he used the smaller side so well, had time to position it, then followed it up with a shot that belongs in a museum. Hold the pose for Dafa News, Andreas Gous. What a performance from him. What an excitement he's been in this tournament. 390 runs last year, 399, sorry, with 350s, already 2 this season. Big improvement for him. And he took apart the spin. Anything pace off, he was happy to attack through extra cover. And well, in the end, Gous was excellent, highlighting that batting display. 71 from 49. We mentioned a big 98-run partnership between Runawera and Gous. And speaking of the man of the moment, today's player of the match has to be one man. Andreas, welcome to the commentary box. Congrats again. Excellent. Just looked very effortless. It was tough at the start. Tell us about conditions.
Yeah, thank you, Nico. Yeah, in the beginning it was quite tough. Very slow, like this. It was quite a slow wicket as well, and a little bit an inconsistent bounce. So we just got to see that through, and then it got easier at the end.
Now tell me about this start by your team before we get to your individual performances. 3-1 now. It's a big improvement from last year where you guys lost 7 games. What has been the difference?
Yeah, our squad has changed quite a lot. So we brought in a couple of guys, really good guys. We've brought in obviously a few spinners, and I just think we knew the wickets where we're going to play. So it's the squad that we picked, it suits that perfectly.
How well did your bowlers do to restrict an attack like the Americans, who showed they could get to 178 yesterday? What did your bowlers do right for you that helped you guys set up that 108?
Yeah, they just didn't give them any extras, any unnecessary runs. Although our fielding wasn't the best at all, but bowling-wise we were really on the mark from ball 1, and our spinners bowled immensely well. You can't ask for a better effort from all our spinners.
And for you, finally, individually, 75 yesterday, now following up with 71. What is feeling so good about your game? Where is your game at in terms of this year, and what are some of your goals you're looking forward to in the 2022 season?
Yeah, I missed out in the first weekend of the minor league, and it was on concrete as well, so I was quite disappointed on that. So I just had to come here and just bat a little bit slower and make sure that I can take our team through the innings the whole time. Goal-wise, I don't put myself big goals like that. I just try to focus on each innings, each ball, and whatever happens will happen after that.
We heard it from the man. Cool, calm, and collected. One of the leaders in the Seattle Thunderbolts team. Andreas Gous, today's player of the match with his 71. A superb innings from him. That ends a blockbuster day of action on this Sunday special. Tomorrow, we have the 4th of July holiday. 2 more games coming for you. You can't get away from the action. The SoCal Lashings taking on the Seattle Thunderbolts in the morning. And then at 3 p.m., the home team, the Hurricanes, desperately needing to win. They'll be up against the Lashings as well. Can't wait to see you there. Of course, this 2022 Toyota Minor League presented by Sunoco has been brilliant. The first 2 weekends have been produced so many stars and so many star performances. Can't wait to join you for the action tomorrow. Be there, 10 a.m.
Watching the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, presented by Sunoco.